Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my god, where is this? Where are we? It's been
We're
ages.
here for the recap. It's me, Nomi, and goodness me, Bread.
Gradina. Hello. That's me.
We've got quite a lot to recap today.
We do.
We
We
do.
do. Goodness gracious.
Where was it even
Uh
started? Where do we begin?
I think it started when Elijah was calling
The
the
Magnus
institute,
Museum,
the
yeah.
the museum, the museum.
Yeah. Having a
Yeah,
call
and
with the AI.
yeah, the sort of AI bot, a sort of chat bot, receptionist, the AI receptionist, if you
Yeah,
will,
Mr. Magnus.
uh, Mr. Magnus, yes, um, and sort of scheduling a visit. Mostly, like the conversation I remember was weird in the sense that there was a lot of stuff that it's not that it wasn't adding up. It's like, why would this thing know that about Elias? And Elias was
Elijah.
justifiably
Mm-hmm.
Elijah. Oh God, no! And Elijah was justifiably intrigued, which led to him going to, schedule a visit. But before that, if I do remember correctly, we had our dearest Lisa Hill call a certain someone. If I think that was during the night, during the same night, because we ended quite late in the night. Like last
Yeah.
session, well, the session before we ended, we started late during the night, and I think that's when Lisa had the call with a certain Robert.
Yeah, called up Robert because there was this suspicion because of an earlier case that they had read that Robert would know something about Lisa's fractured life where maybe he would know some of the other Lisas. But he
Yeah,
seemed completely oblivious, just a kind of happy guy. Oh, you're calling me? Well, that's nice. Yeah, no, it's been a while, hasn't it? Lisa's being like
yes.
super suspicious, but he's just an alright guy.
Yeah, and she talked to him and scheduled a proper date with
Yeah,
him.
some food, some
The day,
drinks.
yeah, some food, some drinks. The day right after. Um, I think next in the chain of events was, I mean, just sleeping. No, no. Elijah went to go and grab some food at a kebab place. I do remember that detail specifically, and got a call from his sister about a case that has been kind of driving her mad. Um, a case that had to do with a certain Elias Bouchard,
Yeah,
that
the prosecutor in
the
question.
prosecutor, yes,
Mm,
and that it was odd in the sense that there was a lot of evidence that seemed to be made up in a way that it shouldn't be. A lot of alibis from her own client that she had spent time building, just entirely dismissed by new proof um, that perhaps wasn't there before. Um, just quite an odd thing, and more importantly, odd enough that Elijah's sister would actually talk about it with him. Um, and she was very much going through it. I remember that she was going through it, having a breakdown. But anyhow, sister calls as a breakdown. Elijah actually says, "Hey, maybe we could go to the museum together." She says no, and then goes back. And I think that's where the night ends and the second day begins. I don't
yeah,
remember
I
anything
think so. I think
else.
so.
Yeah.
Um, it was Francesca had set up a date with one of the victims in an earlier case as
True.
well, with Marlowe.
But
Anna.
that happened the day. That happened in
Yeah,
like during the day of.
she
What
was gonna
happened
call. That's
first?
true. Oh yeah.
What happened first was that Fran got a call from a certain, what's the name? Granny Abhorn. I think that's the family name. Abhorn,
Allborn.
is that it?
Allborn. Yeah.
Allborn. Um, about like, oh, can you see me later this day, etc. And if I do remember, I think after getting that call, that's when Fran called up
Yeah,
Anna.
I think so.
Yeah,
Because she was gonna call that morning, and then she got a call early.
that's true. That's true. That's true. So she called, as our dearest Nomi said, a victim of the prior case of that of a certain Marlowe West, sort of willing to talk deeply, I guess, about what happened. Say like, hey, it's over, and more so, Fran, if I do remember, had some concerns about the victim, whose name is Anna, of course. Um, yeah, some concerns here and there.
Yeah.
And so they went and talked. I think that was actually the first sort of moment in the day.
I think so. Mm,
Oh,
was it
um,
though?
I
No,
think
I.
Fran came in passing to the station before
Yeah.
going to the little date with Anna.
I think this is where we took your museum visit.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
While all
That
of
is right.
this is happening, very early in the morning, Elijah had been going to the museum. The Magnus Museum is sort of, well, is sort of,
Dark Academia Spooky Library Museum.
yeah, exactly. Specifically holding grim and not well known, but mythic almost objects that
Mm-hmm.
supposedly killed or harmed or scared people in the past. A coffin, a whistle of bone, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And Elijah was enchanted for a bit, walked around, read a little bit, then asked one of the people who worked there where he was going to go because he was going to meet up with this AI interface because he had questions, and the AI itself seemed to think that Elijah would be a good fit for working at this museum.
That's true. There was a lot. There were lots of questions being thrown around. I would say from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Eventually, what I do remember is, yeah, Elijah was on the phone actually at first was asked like, "Oh, would you mind working for the museum?" and was weirded out, but eventually the interface Magnus um, talked him pretty much into it. Uh, and Elijah was okay with it. But right before that, I think that's when Elijah gave kind of his statement in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, gave a statement about what happened to him, what landed him in Section 31, uh, an odd story about a child that made its parent explode. Let's say that, in the most literal sense. Um,
Yeah.
and Elijah was obviously caught in the crossfire and talked about it with um, dearest Magnus, and then went on to, well, properly sign the contract actually, which entailed. Let's get into what it entails. Uh, when the section finds an artifact, rather than destroying it and doing it the Mike way, Elijah is to bring back what he can to Magnus for reasons for reasons that have not yet been entirely explained,
Yeah.
and also
Every
talk
week.
to every week, yeah, and also every week talk to Magnus about his work in Section 31. um I think he then just had a conversation with a guy that had a weird shadow behind him, asked the guy, Linus, I think,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, are you haunted?" And then went on his merry way. And that's actually when the date between Fran and Anna happened. because that's when Fran talked about her own experience and what landed
One
her in Section 31.
one important thing that caused Elijah, I believe, to join this line of work is when Magnus said after you had made your statement, he
True.
said, "Would you want to know where she is right now? The girl that
Yes.
exploded her dad."
Yes, that's true. That is true.
And Elijah was
And
given a link that he would
a link.
later watch.
Yes, that is true. Very important. The reason why Elijah was swayed is because Magnus seemed to have information about the whereabouts of this small explosive child. Then it went on to Fran and Anna's discussions.
Yes,
The floor is open, Nomi, if you wish to
very,
recap
yeah,
the.
very simplified. Francesca and Anna, Anna Gray, I believe, or not believe, that's what her name is. They were talking about Marlowe and the case and how it was kind of closed, that the marionette in question that Anna was so worried about had been destroyed. However, Francesca also let out that Marlowe seemed to be able to do that without the marionette, which Anna kind of went on a SJW, a social justice warrior tirade on how she hates those sorts of people, people that can abuse power that way. It wasn't completely visible if Anna thought it was supernatural, but she certainly felt the need to take justice into her own hands.
Yes. And to a certain extent, so did Fran. I think it was more of a thing of like, I mean, Anna's gonna do it either way, so Fran is gonna probably join in on the fun, if you could call it that,
Mm-hmm.
of trying to, get proper justice, figure out what to do about Marlowe West, um, because there's a lot to do about him. Well, not a lot right now, at least that we know of. Either way, I think after that conversation happened, we pretty much. Oh, oh. Remind the audience of the space broadcast.
Oh, absolutely. When everyone had done theirs, this was after. No, this was after Francesca. People
Yes.
were heading home. What's her name? Lisa was preparing to go away actually, to meet up with Robert. Everyone in the world got a broadcast from the Mars exploration craft returning, which is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
They've been gone for more than half a year, and now they return. As the broadcast streams them getting down, landing into the water, it then cuts to a group of people, squares among squares, so many people talking at the same time in different languages, so that it just became this cacophony of sound before cutting out. People were confused, some a little worried, but nothing else seemed to happen, at least. Unnerving, for sure, and inspiring, I guess.
I think the next stop on our beautiful recap is a small one, but still worth mentioning. Uh, Fran, right before the, I think it was, yeah, it was before Lisa's date, uh, had a little moment with Granny Alborn, right?
Alborn, yeah.
Alborn. Where Fran went to this old lady's house, and the old lady was talking to her about how her to-do list seemed to be things on there that she didn't remember, seemed to be more things than she remembered putting down. An odd thing, but could always be chalked up as, well, old people doing, old people stuff. I don't know. Um, or some kind of loss of memory. Either way, Fran helped uh, Granny Alborn
Yeah.
with the chores, and then went on her merry way as she was to chaperone Lisa, and as she was on her date with our dearest Robert.
Yeah. And the date went well. There was talking, there was some
It did.
comfort, fully not fully she wasn't fully invested, Lisa, but she wasn't too disinterested either. It She probably expected something else, expected something strange, something weird to happen, some truth to come out, but really Robert just seemed kind of excited to have a girl in front of him.
Which, in its own way, was strange and even more unexpected than whatever truth or whatever nugget of truth Lisa thought she might gain from this conversation. Either way, the conversation went well. Not much information was gained, sadly, apart from that of Robert just kind of being a normal guy. Uh, Lisa went back. I can't quite remember if she went back. Yes, we cut away from that, if I do remember correctly. Now I do remember.
Yeah.
We cut away from Lisa's date as Elijah was spending a bunch of time in the station, sort of looking around, checking to see if he could actually see ghosts because of the shadow he saw earlier in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the
museum. Hello? You still here? Oh no. Berdina has died, perished. Yeah, Elijah was trying to see if he could actually see ghosts because of the shadow he saw in the museum, the archive there. However, he doesn't see anything, nothing is spotted. It just kind of is creepy in a way. But he does hear footsteps. Oh,
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 I apparently died.
yes, he did.
I wholeheartedly apologize. My Wi-Fi is acting up in strange ways.
Strange that he
The
just
true eldritch horror.
internet.
Yeah.
Indeed. No, but I finished explaining that part and said that then you heard footsteps.
Yes, that is true. Elijah heard some footsteps. Footsteps of a certain man, the man of the year, the man of the hour, a certain Mike Sager, that had actually managed to come back a little earlier than anticipated from his trip to Scotland, if I do remember.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And he was there. He didn't say much, he wasn't too crazy. However, Elijah was very keen on asking questions, and when a few too many questions came out, Mike kind of stood in the way of the doorway, kind of locking Elijah in. Just maybe to intimidate, maybe just to make sure you were still there as he started asking questions. Now, I do not remember exactly. It was in reference to Juniper, was it not?
It was. The Juniper questions happened kind of it was odd. What happened was that everybody was sort of we were supposed to go grab some food, so we went ahead and grabbed some food. Me and Mike, in the car, and we started just sort of talking. Elijah started pressing him about certain topics, questions, some regarding Juniper King, but mostly other stuff, mostly talking about the Institute, actually. And Elijah saying things like, oh no, we'll leave the Juniper King stuff for when everybody is here. And so Mike and Elijah went to get some shawarma, uh, waited for, well, actually went back and met up with Lisa and Fran. And that's when the big conversation happened.
Yeah.
Want to take it away?
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot.
Mike was kind of pressured into it. They were talking about needing to know more. He was lying, not saying things, keeping truths like Juniper and Lisa's backstory completely hidden. And for why? That's what they asked, why? And as he grew more irritated, eventually he said, fuck it. Alright, if you want to hear, I'll bring out a book, you'll read the book, I'll tell you about it, and you'll understand, but it's your own fault if something bad happens to you. A little more
Yeah.
elegantly, the conversation went. Francesca followed him along as he kind of opened a hatch in a wall and pulled out a handbook, seemingly written by himself. He reminded them all about his rule about not reading books that seem strange. This one in specific, he said, was one of those books. Because he thought when he started writing it, it would help him on his journey, but really what happened is that it attracted the things to him. What things? They ask. What's going on really? And that's where he unveils the 13 entities that he kind of noted down, together with certain notes he's found of a guy named Smirk. Smirk. They denoted the 13 ones that are real entities, eldritch, larger than life. He said that the fight against these creatures that they see, Marlowe, Moira, the woman that he went away to Scotland to kill, they are nothing compared to these creatures, and that nothing that they do really makes a difference. He denoted them as the chamber, the infiltration, the night, the spite, the eye, body and chase, the isolation, the slaughter, the unbelieving, the face, the everything, and the puppet mistress. He specified that people like Isolde and Juniper had been taken by the chamber, a fear of being crushed, being stuck, not being able to move. A entity, a creature that simply is that. He also specified about Marlowe being related to the slaughter. And he also said that the reason he kept Lisa secret is because he doesn't know yet where she stands, if she's a monster or if she's a person. He said that she seems more like a victim than anything.
Then the question is Mike not a monster? Yeah.
Is Mike a monster? That's a great
Maybe.
question, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. A question that we might get answers to. Either way, after that conversation was had, Mike sort of noped out and was like, yeah, well, you got it. Yay.
Yeah.
And left us to our own devices with the book.
He did say, to be fair, he did say that for the rest of the week that everyone is going to take a few days off, and then when they return, he's going to be supervising them, not letting you search for your own answers because you clearly can't keep yourself safe.
That is
Which
true.
is a bit
That is
silly
correct.
because he did vote and be completely fine with people exploring and going to scary, unsafe places like Isolde's apartment.
Yeah. Maybe we snooped through his stuff and now he's a little
Yeah,
conscious about
definitely.
it. Yeah.
Because that's something that happened the first episode, a secret episode that none of you will ever see, where they all explained what they all fear, and he said that he doesn't like being watched or snooped around with.
A conversation which, putting that out there, Elijah was half hearing, half not.
Hmm. Lizzie, hello.
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 Hello, hello. Goodness me,
Hi, we're
yeah, you're in
oh,
perfect timing. Um, we're saying the recap, but We'll recap a little bit with your character Astrid as well. Just the last part because it has some extremely important information.
true.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Either way, after that, Elijah took the book, left, and where did he leave to? Where do we think he left to?
The Magnus Museum.
Let's go.
In order to give the book to Magnus, or more so, to fulfill his contract a little earlier than expected.
Indeed. And as he entered, he called Magnus on the phone, like, hey, can you let me in? The door just unlocks and kind of swings open. There's no one inside. It's darkness. The cameras and the shadows watch him as he walks, his boots making echoing sounds throughout the halls. One turn there, one turn in the other direction, then some stairs down and down into the room again with the recorder, the TV, and the chair. As he sits down, the recorder works 3 times and the TV starts. And that's where we ended.
It is. It is. It absolutely is.
It absolutely is.
Goodness gracious. Lizzie, I apologize for the shenanigans that have happened in your absence.
I am highly confused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
So, Lizzie, Mike
Yes.
gave you all some proper answers. What happened to Juniper? Why? What's he lying about? What's the secrets and so on? If you look into the general chat, you can see this list of a bunch of names that all start with the, right?
Yeah. I'm looking.
Mm-hmm. During a meeting later on an evening after he had come back, he explained that these are the big enemy. This is the enemy. These 13 are what we are fighting against. And it is like fighting God with a fork. That even though we kill these people and creatures like Marlowe, Isolde, and so on, it's nothing. It's like scratching the toe on one of these. And the reason why he didn't tell you was specifically in order to keep your spirits high, not let you fall to these. And the intoxicating feeling of giving up. And yeah, he said that Lisa, he doesn't know if Lisa is a monster or not even. Which Lisa didn't quite like hearing because Mike kills monsters.
I wouldn't like hearing that either.
Yeah.
But he did specify what of these entities that you guys had come into contact with already, with the face, is something that Francesca had come into contact with. I think that's, yeah, the chamber being Isolde and the slaughter being Marlowe.
Hmm.
Hello, Aris.
Hello.
They made it.
Oh
They
my-
made it.
Oh my god, Brad, you're so loud. What the? Oh, it's because I turned Nomi all the way down.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I was having computer troubles. And I'm still
Well,
having computer troubles, but, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
it is.
what
It is.
Goodness
How
gracious.
are we Yep.
Yep.
Sound
How
it
are we
out.
all today? How are we all today? How are you, Lizzie? I haven't talked to you. I'm gonna just give up on talking. How is everybody? There we go.
I'm here. Currently trying to feed a dog.
That's great. Dogs are great. It's great that you're here.
Eris, you are the
You are the
you are the
I
you are
am.
the
I am
well,
the.
there's a curse put on today where we are not going to be able to finish our sentences. I can already sense it.
It's true. I'll finish for you.
Well,
Huh? Sorry.
that's
Huh?
Yeah. Okay.
huh?
What's
Who
up?
said
Huh?
that?
Huh?
Hmm?
What's up?
Huh?
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 Guys, I think there are ghosts in the call. What's going on?
I've got
Guys.
ghosts in my screen.
Ghost in the Machine.
I've got ghosts in
Great
my computer.
song.
My computer almost crashed yesterday because I opened MS Paint. So I
What?
don't know how much longer this is going to exist. Yeah, Nomi was there as well.
I was there. Well,
It was-
num.
I don't know. Yeah.
Let's start. Let me go through
Mhm.
the lovely intro.
I should
Yes.
open D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I don't have my camera on
Roll
today
20.
because I am looking a mess, but that's alright.
That is fair.
Alright, alright.
A
Stream
black
intro.
void.
Mhm,
On top of
mhm,
which
mhm.
stands the word
Alright.
mother.
Game guys. Game face on, guys.
Okay.
Alright, allow me. Hello and welcome to Section 31, a fan-made campaign based on the magnificent Magnus Archives and Protocol. I heavily advise checking both out as well as any of Rasiqua's other podcasts and media since it is all of utmost quality and enjoyment. Music is brought to you by Witchbolt, a non-AI dungeon synth music producer. Links to both creators is found in the description or on my channel. Of course, the content of this roleplay is made and brought to you under an Attribution Share Alike 4.0 international license. With us today, we have Lizzie as Astrid,
Sorry, was looking for a spoon.
that's Lizzie, that's Lizzie,
That's Lizzie. That's Lizzie, people.
Eris as Francesca Horowitz,
Ah!
ah,
Yeah.
and Brad as Elijah Simmons.
I was actually looking for a fork.
Not an axe.
I'm making
I
coffee.
fell into the cutlery drawer.
Angelica sadly won't be here today because of tummy aches, which is completely respectable.
Mhm.
She might join later.
We can hope. One can hope.
In
We can
spirit.
hope.
She's here in spirit.
She's here in spirit. The Lisaverse will not be the same without her.
Mm,
Oh,
Lisa.
I wonder why.
Well, I mean,
I mean, we might still see Lisa in this in this section. We don't
true.
know.
I kind of hope not. I love Lisa.
Nomi, you've actually you've ruined us because you can't call any other character Lisa now.
Oh yeah, you can.
Because we will hear a character called Lisa and just be like, oh, oh it's Lisa.
I mean,
Lisa.
hey, more Lisa, more Lisa.
Mm.
More Lisa for all. What was it we said?
You get a Lisa, and you get a Lisa.
Yes. What was it we said? Every Lisa, and all at Lisa.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Into the Lisaverse.
Yes, every Lisa, everywhere, all at Lisa.
We are all Lisa.
We're all
Really?
Lisa down here.
We are all Lisa down here.
Down here.
Yes. It's like the thing, except the thing is Lisa, and we're all Lisa.
Oh,
That being
Yes.
said, we ended last session with Brad, Elijah, walking down into the little basement with the little recorder and the TV where he first spoke to Magnus's full interface. And the TV starts. It lights on, static, a war of ants, so to say, eventually becoming his face once more, focused on your eyes, staring right into them as it did before, as if it never stopped. It looks at you for a second, then nods.
Hello.
Sorry. Hello.
Good evening. I had a conversation with Mike Sager, whom you know, and he gave me this book, which I thought might be of interest to you, as it fits the description of what one would call an artifact, maybe.
He doesn't tear his eyes away from you, but you get a sense that he sees what you're holding anyway. I see. Well, I doubt he gave that to you with the intent of giving it to me. Did you two have a fallout?
Oh, no. We're still in good enough terms, I would say. No, but I managed to grab this. Yeah.
Could you push it to the other side of the table, please?
Why, of course, Elijah does so.
You see a pale hand, just a hand and a sort of shirt coming from out of the darkness, holding it, putting it up to the TV screen, and then laying it down again in front of you on the table before disappearing into the darkness under the TV. Yes, this seems to be more than enough, absolutely. He was willing to give that to you, just as it is.
Give is a big word, I would say. He sort of left it unattended, with the intent of giving it to us, Section 31, of course. And I told my fellow colleagues that don't worry about it, I'll just do some light reading. Yeah.
Lying is a sin, you know. Not that I care, but I will very solemnly accept it. And do not worry, you'll not fall in any legal trouble from this. Would you like something in return? Perhaps a story?
If that wouldn't be too much to ask, Yes, I would.
You were curious about Mike's meetings with me before, weren't you?
That I was, yes, absolutely.
Would you want to hear what he told me?
Yes.
Right. He kind of turns his head a little bit, his eyes following, almost as if he's to imitate picking up a document or a paper, even though his hands do not exist and his eyes do not remove themselves from you. Sit down, and this is gonna be quite long. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes, I am, yes.
His
Elijah
voice,
would sort of
his voice then
snuggle.
turns into this sort of static for a bit, and then it's almost as if it is a recorded voice, like on a worse microphone, not his entirely, but still the same. Michael was a man that went through a lot in his life. Up until he was 6, he lived with his mother. They lived alone because his dad had a tendency to hurt him and his mom. After 6, his mother started leaving him alone. She couldn't handle him anymore. He survived on the food he was given, and the kindergarten tried their best to teach him how to be and not. When he was 9, there was a girl aged 7. They played together. She didn't do anything wrong, but Mike had decided that it would be fun to chase her around. When she fell to the floor, he didn't laugh. He was angry. To think that her legs were so weak. If she had been afraid, she would have run further. The game wouldn't have ended. So he did what any sensible traumatized kid would have done. It's humorous to think he wanted to take distance from his father, but never did. He never had friends. He dared any who tried to become one. He didn't want to, he never wanted to, but it made sense to him, like a vaccine, something he had to do, even if he didn't want to. And then, his first love. Ask him. Jeanette's her name. Ask him about her. Further in his life, he lived alone, worked without contracts on the street until he eventually got a proper job in an area around outside the city, in a forest, woodworking. He didn't like his compatriots of wood, as they'd call it, but they would work together. They thought he was strange, a bit off. They didn't speak to Mike, and when he didn't come back from an excursion, they assumed he went home already. He was lost, of course, in the forest. He had taken out all his frustration with his axe already, and now he was just tired. Turned around, and with no one nearby, he was alone. The moss was soft, like a pillow covered in grass, but with a few hours of walking and stumbling on roots and as such, Mike's legs gave out. He had found a cabin. Its roof drooped like the dent on an infant's head, and although it glowed from inside, it wasn't welcoming. It was like the eyes on a skull. He was desperate, but he knew something was wrong. It was so empty around, like the cabin had devoured the tree and earth, and inside he heard this grumbling humming and points a groaning laughter. The thing inside, he did not know what it was, but it terrified him. Mike took a step away. Clumsy his tired feet were, and a branch was broken. The house went silent. The thump, thump, thump came, and then it was by the door. Ooh, let's see if I can make a voice. Great evening today. Are you lost? That's a shame. Join me for supper, will you? It stood there, in the door opening, the frame too small for its silhouette. Like jaws it stood there, legs too thick, stomach too large. It smiled, its teeth too long, and its mouth open way too wide. Mike could feel his blood rushing to his legs again, and his breath quickened too swiftly. He couldn't breathe. I'll run, he thought, but his legs gave away. On his knees he wanted to beg, but he couldn't do anything but stab her. The thing in front of his side. Poor sod. Come in, come in. I've caught much meat for us to gorge on. A sickly long arm extended quickly and pulled him by the leg. The terrible humming from his constantly open mouth was muffled by the inside of the cabin. There were dried skins covering the floor and walls, and the table it had only one chair. He was sat there. The creature pointed onto the table. There was food overflowing, meats, some cooked well and some red. There was gravy with chunks of more meat within. It didn't smell good, it smelled like fat, mostly. Poor sod, you're a guest. I won't eat until you have. It's all fresh. Please indulge. Mike felt his stomach grumble and turn. He was as hungry as he was terrified. Were these people? Didn't look or smell like animals. Poor Mike, only 16, sitting in a cabin, pressing pieces of tender meat down his hyper-aware throat. You should do well, Elijah, to wish not to ever feel that sensation. The sensation of soft fibers of flesh pressed down your throat, collecting like a mound in your stomach. The thing was urging him on, wishing for Mike to truly engorge. It was night when Mike started crying, his skin on his stomach tearing quietly under his clothes. Good going, chap. No need to feel hungry now. Its arms would push him off, leaving him groaning on the ground. Mike had a little vomit coming up, never fully, it wouldn't. He wanted to puke, but whatever came up went back in again. He'd be left on the floor for a few seconds, then he would hear the voice again. That's not good at all. Now I've got no food. Hearing this, had his body aware again. Mike gets up on his feet as well as he can, seeing the jaws of this thing slightly open, its eyes looking sorrowful. They closed around him, tried to, but the chair was in the way, and Mike would shuffle towards the door as the wood cracked, and with a terrifying gulp, the chair disappeared into that thing. It wasn't fast, but neither was Mike. Heavy thuds and crunches as Mike threw anything he could, promptly swallowed by the thing. His everything ached and churned like his body was breaking down on his own intestines to keep him working. He spat up blood, trying to get away, and he did, but he doesn't know why. Would you want to know?
Yes.
That very thing saw a little piece of himself in him. Even though it was hungry, it saw an ally. Even though the hunger would not stop him, he felt sad to have to eat one of its own. And that is that story of Mike when he was still in America.
I don't understand. Mike is alive. He wasn't eaten by anything.
He wasn't.
So wherever he met, he was what, akin to it?
In a way. As are you. Not to it, of course.
Whoa, okay, well, thank you. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Is that thing still... If Mike is alive, is that thing still chasing him?
No. It was killed a few years ago by a certain couple of girls that I believe you would have heard about. Maybe you should ask him again what happened to Basira and Daisy. Maybe. I don't think he'd quite appreciate your curiosity, though.
Yes, he did say he hates being watched, which is a bit of an issue. Goodness gracious. I don't want to press you on about more, but I've learned about these things. So
Go on. You work here. You're not just a guest. You need to know as much as you can. Ask away.
what do we do about this? The 13 things in there. What do we do about them? I'm guessing that the answer is that we can't do anything about them, but for example, we have a case that has to do with the chamber. How would I go about ending someone who has joined it?
Maybe you could ask Mike, perhaps. Or maybe you can follow in the footsteps of someone who's already dead. How do you end someone from the chamber? Is it a person? If it's a person, well, they tend to bleed, they tend to lose their breath. Perhaps not that one. 13, you said?
Yes, I mean, that are
Interesting.
described in...
Well, I say follow whatever tracks you have of whoever could stand up to these and there's a slight smile on its lips. Things. However, I will say, they are not all allies. Although you see them as your enemy, they are not allied with each other. One and the other might oppose themselves. If you have courage, maybe searching one out to help your cause could help you. Or, on the other side, it could lead to your death. And I do care so very much for the people working under me.
Yes, of course. Goodness, there's quite a few things that are troubling about this, but see, I have an issue with one of my colleagues. Name's Lisa. Lisa Hill.
Okay. The artist.
Well, maybe. She was offered some kind of trinket, toy box, and one of those very ornate, beautiful Chinese puzzle boxes, and apparently her house started being weird, and now the Lisa that I know is not the Lisa that belongs to this world. And I can understand some of these that are written on there, you know, the 13. I mean, the chamber is pretty straightforward. The chase, the isolation, the slaughter, pretty straightforward. The face apparently is that sort of uncanny valley feeling, but that's not what I've gotten from Lisa. So I don't know what could have happened to her, what power would have been at play.
I think a healthy mind is one that's curious. Although I think I could give you an answer. I will be very clear. I don't fully know. I would be quite happy if you could bring me this information as well.
I will try my best, of course.
This Lisa
Lastly-
of yours, you are right. In many things, it is strange. I know very little of her, it's true. I do not have records other than the fact that she's an artist. She works with the police now, is that true?
Yes, I mean she was not as whatever Lisa was in this world, or whatever Lisa had the memories of this version of the world is gone, or at least she's not with us. The one that's with us has entirely different memories. Doesn't seem to be from here, as far as I can decipher.
That does sound like the face, but if you're not sure, look into it and stay safe, of course.
Yes, yes. Have you ever had a direct encounter with any of those powers?
He gives you a smile, looks at you kind of demeaning almost. Gives you a nod. Of course. As have you. As have many people. But me, more than anything, it's a hobby, I suppose, to watch them. They can't do much
Yes.
to me, can they?
Yes, that's true, but I would like to know. I would. It's if there are things like this out there, I feel like I need to know about them. I feel like everybody needs to know about them, but if
Invite
everybody
one
doesn't
over.
want to-
Talk to them. Open your eyes to them. Listen. Try to see, understand, I think that will help you. I cannot do much more though. If you want to know more, you can take that next week, Thursday, actually. Thursday.
Yes, yes.
Yes. You can leave the book here. Someone will be here in the morning to put it where it's supposed to be. And Brad? You're not Brad. God, sorry. And Elijah. Stay safe. I'll keep my eye on you, but I can't do much without the body. And
I don't know how to stay safe, but I will try my best.
he kind of nods. It turns into static again, and he kind of just crackles and pops out of existence as this recorder turns off.
Ledger's gonna think for a second. Doesn't have a body. But there was a pale hand that did take the book. So he's gonna think about that. Sort of squint. And then he's going to try to walk out. He's gonna be try at least, be very perceptive on the way. Try to see if that shadow is still around. The one that was behind the Linus guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you walk back up, looking around the corners you can, you see the cameras watching you. You feel cared for while in here. You cannot see any shadows within a darkened room that seem to stand out more than any other. And when you are fully outside, when that comfort is lost, you still have yet to see the shadow.
Elijah sighs. Well, I mean, he did have to sort of go back to oh. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Oh goodness, Discord is being extremely weird. Give me a second. All right, I'm here. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Discord, yeah, Discord got really weird for a second. I apologize. Elijah had to head back. I mean, there's Elisa said that she would come around to, I think, swing by his place or something like that. I can't quite remember, but I think he also just wanted to spend the night with his sister because he told her that he would.
It's true. Let's switch over. Before Francesca left, it's Lisa, Astrid, and Francesca in the room after the conversation.
Why?
I've explained a little bit, but if you would want to explain to Astrid, who sadly wasn't here last session, exactly what was the conversation with Mike.
Oh goodness, that's testing the extent of my memory. So Mike essentially was like, well, no, Elijah, not Eli, God. Elijah at first was like, hey, I know you know more about this, like what's going on, and both Elijah and Lisa were very like suspicious of like everything that was happening. And then Mike essentially says, hey, I'm echoing through Red's mic, but that's fine. Mike essentially says, hey, I can tell you, but it will not make things better, it will make things worse, because the things that are out there will ignore you unless you know they exist, essentially. Or they'll ignore you mostly, but if you know they exist, they won't ignore you, or something along those lines. And he then told us, well, he gave us a notebook. He threw it at us, the notebook that Elijah took, that had a list of 13 different entities that he explained exist. And for each of those entities, there's like associated creatures and people with associated abilities. I can't quite remember the extent of what he said, so I'm trying not to say too much.
No, you're right.
Those 13 that were mentioned, or that, well, Brad put in the group chat, but I don't think we said all of them, were big breath. The chamber, which is linked to Isolde Humphreys, so the closeness, tightness, deep underground. The infiltration, which is I can't remember what the infiltration is.
It's sickness,
Somebody remind me.
illness,
Somebody sickness. Yes,
bugs,
illness, sickness,
infestations.
bugs, gross stuff. The night is pretty self-explanatory. You know, the night, darkness, lack of light and things. The spite is my goodness, I've forgotten all of these now.
He never actually explained
Spite.
the spite.
He didn't explain the spite. No, the eye is also pretty self-explanatory. You know, watches, sees things. The body also kind of self-explanatory. Like I guess you'd say body horror or stuff like that. The chase also pretty self-explanatory. You know, being chased, being pursued, things like that. The isolation. A lot of these are fairly self-explanatory. The isolation, yeah, being alone, on your own. You know, the slaughter also, yeah, fairly slaughter.
Marlowe.
The unbelieving, Marlowe, yeah. The unbelieving is
It
like
wasn't
confusion.
explained.
Yeah, okay.
No,
No, I'm
sorry.
assuming, yeah.
No.
The face is the face is like what was going on with the puppets in Fran's statement. Not the puppets, the
The
not-
creature, the not Jacob.
whatever wasn't Jacob, yeah. And whatever's going on with Lisa maybe as well. So it's like
It's the
I guess
Uncanny Valley,
yeah,
something that's
Uncanny
not-
Valley, imposters, people who are there who shouldn't be there and stuff. The everything
It
I
wasn't
don't think was explained.
No.
Because what? And the puppet mistress. Was that explained as well? I don't remember if
It
that
wasn't,
one was.
but it was a question of like, was that Marlowe then, the puppet mistress?
Yeah,
And he said no,
it's-
the puppet mistress
no.
is less about killing and more about just controlling.
Controlling, yeah. So that's the 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, that's all of them.
That is all of
Sorry,
them.
just checking. I was just counting mentally.
And so those things
yeah.
are the enemy. They're the big bad thing that-
essentially, yeah. They're controlling everything. And he did literally, if I believe correctly, he did literally say to us, if you meet anybody or anything that is powered essentially by one of these things, you will not stand a chance against them. Without the
fine.
knowledge of, without the knowledge of what they are. And
Yeah.
even then, yeah.
It's
So-
basically like if you
Mhm.
don't know what a chainsaw is, you would move to touch it and it would cut you to pieces. It
Mm.
is that if you have no idea, there is no chance for you to prepare unless you know what it is.
Mhm.
Of course, Mike has experience, and that's why he manages. And after
He does
that,
manage.
yeah, he does, doesn't he?
And then, yeah, I think Lisa stayed. No, Lisa left.
Lisa
did
stayed for
Fran.
a bit. Lisa was sitting there holding her head for a bit,
Mm.
and then you left. So then Lisa was the last one
Fran
there.
stormed down, I think, yeah. And then Elijah took the book.
Yeah,
We did retcon something. I can't remember what we retconned because we. But we did retcon something at one point.
It was Elijah sort of just kind of storming out quickly.
yeah.
That was
And then
retconned.
realizing, wait,
Wait.
wait. Yeah.
Do we need to go over it in another way?
The
is that-
13 things I mentioned, by the way, are also on in. Sorry,
In the general chat.
sorry, general chat. Sorry, VOD watchers, but yes, they're in the general chat as well.
I'll write them in the chat for everyone who's watching the stream.
Anyway, yeah. Essentially.
Oh god.
Oh no.
No.
Astrid, your microphone is eating
What should
you.
I name Notepad?
Oh.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
It's
alright.
fine. No, they are in general. Are they pinned in general? I actually don't
Oh,
know.
They're in general. you
they're
just
there.
have
They're
to
pretty
scroll
quick,
up
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, they're right there. Okay, yeah.
Indeed. And I'm very curious where Lizzie would go from here. It's late in the night. What would happen? I'll give you some time, of course, to adjust because you are recovering from hearing everything.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Sounds like video game time to me, honestly.
Video game time? Oh,
If I don't understand it, it's gonna be video game time.
is it? Is Lizzie gonna go play video games, or what do you mean? Explain.
Astrid is gonna go home and play some games. That was one of her hobbies, right? It was video games, reading.
You tell me. I
can't
have
remember
nothing
the rest.
against that. Yeah. Video game
No
time.
gaming.
No gaming.
No gaming allowed.
You know they actually banned gaming in London. Sorry.
Oh, damn.
No, but
A
absolutely.
creature crawls through your screen and you die.
God. Creature
That's a
crawls
different
through your
series.
screen.
That's the Mandela catalog. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
With that in mind, Lizzie, I'd imagine you would be getting home unnerved. You can drive, and I think you did. Driving home. Mike did say for everyone to take the rest of the week off, so unless there is something in a specific day someone would want to do, we can do a generalization of what happens, right? It's Thursday. The day after would
Montage.
be Friday, so you'd have 3 days to do things. If there's some kind of activity that would take a full day or anything like that, that what someone might have, that they might want to do. Hint, hint.
I'm trying to think. Oh, was that a hint to me? Because Fran did want to look into the pottery that takes a full day.
What's the hint to you? I don't know.
I don't know. She'd go to. She'd probably check in on the pottery places that she had written a list of, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And would maybe go see Jacob's grandma again
Oh yeah.
to just make sure she's doing good. But yeah, Fran would go to the pottery places, and I guess kind of if she ends up accidentally doing a load of pottery, like the pottery classes, I feel like she'd end up doing that as well accidentally. But you know,
Accidentally falling into pottery glasses. Oh
falling
yeah.
into pottery class. She sits there, they're like, "You want to join a pottery class?" And she's like, "No." It's like, "Oh no, it's fine. We'll give you it reduced." And she's like, maybe I'll have a go. And then she gets so absorbed into painting, making pottery. Yeah, anyway, no, she'd look into if I'm allowed to do that, look into the different pottery. I feel like I said pottery
You've said this. You've
many
said
times.
this.
It's
fine.
not
Yes,
words.
you will.
Yes.
You will.
Yay.
Absolutely. Astrid, these next few days, is there something you would like to do? Any investigations on your own, or perhaps just something chill? Go to a restaurant, go bowling. Is there something you'd like to do?
I know Astrid would want to look into her parents some more. I have no idea how to start that though.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, he did say that you shouldn't come into office, but you still have the keys.
Doesn't mean she can't look stuff up.
You do still
Ooh.
have the keys. Well, think on that for a second. Elijah, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, he did say not to come in. However,
Yes.
Elijah would probably sneak in at some point in order to, if I may say specifically why, in order to search for. He's got a lead on, perhaps I mean, from Magnus's word, on perhaps where the girl is, and so he wants to research the video deeper.
Right. Of course, of course. Well, let's start with, like, actually, let me return. Astrid, had you come up with something?
She indeed would want to go and check out the session. Not session. Why did I say session?
Section?
Yeah, she would want to look through stuff.
Righty, righty. Let's do that in a bit then. Francesca, Friday day.
Friday.
Day.
Friday day. Friday day.
So, taking your car out for a drive, running around the city here and there, looking for the pottery places, what would your general questions be? You do have an image.
So, I do have an. Do I have an image?
Yes, you have images of those. You did take images.
I did. Oh, I did. Yes, with my little funky camera.
You did.
I'd probably I'd show a picture of it, and I'd say, "Hey, I saw, a friend." I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie. Why would I lie? I wouldn't lie. I'm not in uniform, obviously. I'm just wearing normal clothes. Like, say, "Hey, do you know anywhere around here that could make something like this?" She'd ask it in kind of the way that someone who wants to buy one would ask it, if you know what I mean. Not in like a. She's just like dressed in normal clothes. She's like, "Hey, do you know anywhere around here that could make something that looks a bit like this?" And
Right.
like quite a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. And the first few...
And probably
Yeah? No? Go
and
ahead.
probably would also ask like, "Hey, do you know of any what kind of paints or what kind of varnishes or whatever?" Her exact words could be used to make this like aged effect that's going on.
All right. So, the first few would say, "I've no idea how that we don't make these. We haven't never made these. Let's start there. That aging effect though is strange. The paint itself being the object that actually looks aged. It is not quite. Let's say." The fact that the paint looks old is something that none of them really specialize in. However, when you do eventually get to one of these little pottery places that is closer to one of the museums, there is someone that do say that how the pottery is made looks a lot like one of the newbies, what they make, and that they do have their own paint that they use.
Okay.
The name of the store I would love to give you, but I just
I
don't
was
have
gonna
it.
say Oh, okay. I was gonna say anyway you could refer. She probably wouldn't go and check on this day. To be
The
fair, anyway.
museum pottery.
The museum. Okay, is that what it's called? Canon now. It's canon. Okay. Do you know who runs it by any chance?
That runs the pottery. Sorry, above table. What do you mean?
Like who runs the place? Like who owns the place that does that?
You are
That makes stuff. Sorry.
No, you went to the pottery. The people in charge said that there's a newbie working in that same pottery that makes stuff that looks like that.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. What is their name? If you have the name. If you don't, then I will put a blank space on my notebook.
Yes, I do have the name. Give me 1 second.
Ooh.
Oh, they're named. That means they're important.
That
Goodness
is.
me.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. Ylva. Let me write it to you specifically so you can see how it's spelled.
Oh,
Ylva.
danke.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my goodness, that is Ilva.
Yes, Ylva Pettersson. So like Ylva Peterson,
Holy
but
moly,
a
that is a
little more
surname.
Norse.
Hmm. She just wanted to be different.
Yeah, Ylva. And
I'm sorry.
she's relatively new. Yeah, just wants to be special. Mm-hmm.
She-
It's not related to me being Swedish or anything. That being said,
No, no,
yes,
no.
Ylva Peterson.
It's just the way you said it's like, oh, it's like this name, but it's just more Norse, and I'm like, okay.
Where did you find these pictures? Would you want to talk to her? I can go back and bring her out, or maybe you can go.
Is she working today?
Yeah, she is. She's currently trying some things out. Slow day, you know.
I do, I suppose. If you could, if she's not too busy, I wouldn't mind talking to her.
Well, come along then. And they would kind of head out from behind the. Goodness me, word. She would head with you. She would tell her co-worker to take her spot, and as you head back, there is this girl who is sitting currently making some pottery, shaping it up, and looks over and kind of nods while working with her hands. Hello, Ylva. This is, and she looks at you, Francesca, I think you told me?
Yep.
They found some imagery of pottery that looked a lot like yours, and they were curious, I believe.
Yes, I saw this pottery and I thought it was fascinating the way it was made. And I wanted to see if I could find out who made it or who could make something similar. Do you happen to recognize it?
She would look at the image, and while she's looking, Ylva, that is quietly watching your the person that attended with you, goes back to where you guys came from. Well, I recognize it. That's really strange, actually. Where'd you find this?
Just in an apartment of someone I know.
Okay, well, it's strange. God, let me finish this and wash off my hands. I have a notebook.
Of course.
If you wouldn't stop her, she would finish.
Yeah.
She would put everything in its spot. Yeah, okay, you can laugh. Silence.
Okay.
Silence your mind
Sorry.
for a second. She would wash off her hands as she's drying off. She'd pull out her notebook and show you an image that seems identical to that.
Nice. Sorry, that
Um,
was above table. Below table. Whatever.
Yeah, I sketched something like that, but I've never actually made this. It's in one of the lines. I'm trying, of course, each thing. I wasn't gonna try this for at least a few weeks. Did
Time travel.
did someone's? I don't know anyone that would ever come into contact with this notebook. I keep it very close to me. How did a friend? What's your friend's name?
Oh god, wait, do I tell the name? Do I tell the name? I'm gonna tell the name. I don't think anything bad can no, cause like
Yes, because like. it's
oh
okay,
no,
let her
I
go.
don't do I I'm trying to think, do I tell the name or not? Is that a bad idea? Actually no, because she might recognize the name. I'm gonna tell the name. Isolde?
Isolde.
Yeah, she's about what does she look like? I was about to describe what she looks like, but I just realized I actually do not know what she looks like, so other than
She's
crusty.
She's about yay high.
About yay high.
God. There is actually an image that our dear friend Lizzie drew.
Of
Let me,
Isolde?
yeah, let me find it.
When did this happen?
When did
Did
this
I miss
happen?
this?
This was a long time ago.
I
Here
I
you
did
go.
that.
pale skin,
Um.
brunette, and relatively tall.
Oh
not
my
too
god,
much.
that is exact. You nailed the gross cracked foundation, Lizzie. I've got to be honest.
For
I was
context for people
Get
listening.
another friend.
For context for people watching, Isolde is one of the first cases that they found. She tried drowning someone in a bed and with sand and sand. They investigated
Sand.
and figured out that the sand is not sand, but rather it's skin cells and makeup.
Mm.
Yes, but yeah, pretty tall.
I don't think Fran wouldn't say the cracked makeup thing. She'd be like, about this tall, measure on herself. Long brownish hair, brown eyes.
Would you like to make me a psychology check, please?
I'm so bad at those. Oh no, I'm actually not that bad at those.
That means you're gonna win. That means smart success.
Oh my god,
Oh, look
a
at
regular
that.
success. That's rare for me.
Yeah, so you do see some glint of recognition in her eyes. But
Okay.
she doesn't tell anything, she looks hesitant. I don't know how someone like that would get a hold of something I haven't made yet. I guess they must have gotten a hold of my notebook somehow.
What do you mean, someone like that? Have you met her before? Do you recognize her?
Well, yeah, I was out and about. I saw her. I guess that's her. As you tell it. She was standing around at the bar. I went up to her. I was just gonna. She smiles a little embarrassedly. Whatever I was gonna do, I didn't have enough time because I had this tall fella, kind of lanky, put his hand on my shoulder and simply tell me, leave or else. And so I left or else because he was fucking scary. And that's the end of it.
A tall fella?
Yeah, tall, kind of, as I said, lanky, skinny, I guess. Yeah. I guess he looked kind of, maybe, I don't want to say, maybe a little Slavic? Not that that's bad or anything. But
Sorry. Oh, okay. So you think she might have seen the notebook then, and maybe... I mean, she wasn't selling these commercially, but do you know anywhere that... I mean, I heard you made your own paints. Do you know anywhere or anyone who has made paints similar that have that
well,
aged effect, or was that what was in your notebook?
it's a technique I make myself. It's not paint in itself. It is that I just mix paint with the clay that I'm working with, and then I add and knead that on. It's nothing particularly new. I just kind of, usually you put some sort of varnish on so that it looks a little more glossy and so on. I don't do that. Yeah, that's kind of it. There's probably a lot of people who can do this. It's just not. Yeah, no. It's. No, I don't. I don't know. Also, who are you? Like, you're. Why are you so interested? I guess it's strange.
I just thought it was an interesting piece of artwork. And I was intrigued as to why it was... how it achieved that effect, I suppose.
Right. Well, I'm
Thank you
concerned more than anything
for
now.
this. I think your
Her name
work
is
is...
Isolde?
Yes. But I think your work is safe. As far as I know, she's not exactly in the business of selling pots.
She kind of nods. Well, alright. we'll see. We'll see, I suppose. I've got more ideas. Stealing one won't hurt me, I'm sure. Thank you for telling me, though, I guess. I've gotta work now. You should probably go.
Yes, probably. If you do find out that she's been selling them, maybe, or if you do see them sold somewhere, feel free to let you know, and I could try to contact her about it, or try to sort something out. And I'm gonna give her my phone number. I don't think I have a card. I think I just write it down on like a little piece of paper and hand it off.
She looks a little dubious and so on, but she kind of nods, looks at it, and motions you to leave.
I leave. I've just say my welcome. I'm going.
All right.
She'll nod to the person at the front, like sort of nod of acknowledgement on the way out, and do maybe like a little wave.
They wave back. Hope you'll come back soon.
Wow.
I'll let
I
you.
might.
I'll let that bubble and boil within you, and I'll talk to Elijah and Astrid. Yes, both. Because these two little creeps, even though they shouldn't be working, head back to the station.
We're workaholic.
Yes, you are. Elijah would probably walk there, as to not have the car be seen. And I'd imagine Elijah would be first. Elijah, how would you be going about this?
Oh goodness, I just got back in time. I needed to get some water.
Oh, okay.
Literally got back in the nick of time. Heard Elijah. How would Elijah go about? I'm guessing going back to the station.
Yes, you're going. Yeah, going to the station. That was yours and Astrid's idea. You'd be the first one there. How do you go about it? Because you weren't supposed to be there, right?
Yes. Would you please give me a second?
I'll give you two.
Sorry.
Two
Real life
max.
stuff.
I guess while we're doing this, we got raided by a King Vikaroth. Everyone is very welcome here. Happy to have you.
Hello, strangers.
Hey, hello.
And we hope that it's all very interesting and fun. These sessions can be pretty long. Today will probably not be such a one, but yeah, you can go back. We have a YouTube channel where we have some of the episodes you can listen to.
Yes,
For
and
context
I'm
and as
back.
such. Welcome back. All right, your
I
2
am
seconds are up. Plans.
My 2 seconds are up. Plans. I don't know if Elijah would go at an acceptable hour. I think what he would do is he would. First off, I will say he would check up on his sister, see if she looks all right, or see if she either if she's drowning in papers or if she's having a mental breakdown. That seems
Oh
to be
God,
the two
that's
versions
such
of
a
her.
good thing for you to remember. Oh, sorry. All right. The day before this day, when you came home, you would find her sitting in the sofa with a bunch of papers, holding her head, and the TV is just constantly, slightly muted, streaming the broadcast from earlier that day. The one with the people talking, nothing being heard.
Oh God.
She wouldn't react when you open the door. She wouldn't see you when you stand before her.
Becca, are you all here?
She would slowly raise her head, look up at you. You see the rings under her eyes. Hi, I'm sorry, I didn't write or anything. You'd see the piles of paper, and she'd look at them. There's a little bit too much to work with, I guess.
Oh my goodness, Becca. Well, I have a bottle of rosé day here, and I thought we were gonna. I thought we were gonna watch Desperate Housewives as we usually do when you're in those moments.
Let me actually
What-
increase your volume because, for anyone wondering, Brad has this strangity with their mic where
Yes,
suddenly very loud. Alright?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's that I lower it and I because I don't like having the. Because I'll just mute myself when somebody else is talking because then there's the echo,
Mm-mm.
and that's why I lower my mic so that it doesn't pick up. But I'll just mute myself and I'll keep
Yeah.
my gain at the same level. All right, I
Uh,
won't touch my gain.
Lovely. Either way, Housewives. Oh yeah, sure. We can. Yeah.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, what were you watching? I mean,
Uh, she looks at the TV with the broadcast on. Just. I don't know. It kind of. I don't know. It turned on. Maybe I did. I don't remember. I sat down to do some work. Maybe I was gonna rest and then I turned it on and it was just this. I don't know what they're saying. They are saying so much though. I feel like. What do you think's going on? I don't know.
I mean, I got the broadcast a little earlier, but you know what? Might be as good of a time as any to properly look at it. I would sit plop down on the couch, put the bottle of rosé on the table in front of her, and I would try to discern what are they saying.
Make me a sanity check.
Figured. Guys, can't fail this.
No,
That
stop
was actually
saying
kinda
that.
close. That was actually kind of close.
Okay.
Ooh. They seem to be speaking in different languages here and there, back and forth, and it's hard to hear. You know it's hard to hear. But you do spot some words here and there. Massive is one of them. Like, you know how they would say on TV where it would be like massive influx of whatever, whatever. You'd hear words like Mars, of course. You'd hear some words in some other languages that you'd translate over to similar things like sky, landing, and then there's this just for 1 second almost all voices coalesce into it's a pressing matter, really, and then they go back into mumbling.
Slow blink. Huh. Huh. Odd. Apparently they're saying some stuff about, like, something massive and Mars. I don't know. Maybe don't look at it for too long.
Yeah, I guess so. What do I do with these papers?
You try not to drown in them. First off, that's a good place to start. Do you need me to help you organize them? Also, I thought you were gonna take a break. I mean, Becca.
She's blinking a lot, trying to look at you. She's clearly tired, even like trying to lift her eyes, her pupils up to meet yours is heavy, and she tries to just stammer forward some words, but she can't. She's too tired, she's too exhausted. There's really quite a lot of documents. You can't read them. No, you can't read them. You can't sort them. I have to. It's my job. It's confidential. Maybe we can watch Housewives tomorrow.
See, that's the thing, right? I'm okay with it being confidential and everything, but it's clearly taking a toll on your health. And I know what it's like being obsessed with something. It's not good. It's not going to do you good. I can tell you that. You don't have to do this, Becca. I just need to tell you, don't. If the case is too intense, if the amount of people is too intense, hell, you work in a cabinet, right? Couldn't you just pass that over to someone who's as qualified? There's not that many to go around, but you know.
No, I'm the most qualified. My what are they called? Sorry, not patient. Sorry,
Client?
client. I'm the best my client will get. I can't fail them. But put them on the table and we can watch something. I'll rest, I promise. God, and she puts her head in her hands again, like she's having a headache.
You know, I'll put that out there. If I listen to my boss and the way he goes about things, I'd be burning those papers right now. But I understand.
Yeah, you can't do
You
that.
want to do something. I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
There's almost like tears in her eyes. Like, you can't do that.
Becca, come here. Oh my God. I would just like hug her. Well, okay. Whew. I do work in the police. Just putting that out there. If it could help, if you need anything that has to do with the case, I know you're a lawyer, etc. But as far as things go, I'm pretty much exempt from a lot of those legalities because of my work right now. So if you need me to help you, all I'm saying is that I'm covered. You don't have to worry about the legality of it.
She kind of holds her head like it's painful to think, and then she puts up her hand and just weakly presses your face away, and then before she fully pushes you away, she kind of opens her eyes. You're right. Elias Bouchard, surely he's doing something. Can't you launch an investigation into him? That could maybe stop him. That would maybe give me some time to make a defense. Then I could beat him down. It doesn't... She looks at you kind of like, maybe this isn't ethical at all.
Becca, it's fine. I'll do it. Honestly, we don't have anything in particular, at least not for the few days. I was planning on doing some more esoteric investigation, if you'd believe, but anything to help you.
Well, that's... She kind of, with a little bit new energy, opens her eyes, blinks a few times. She kind of crawls with her hand over to the table, grabs the rosé and uncorks it with her fingers, and drinks a little bit before sitting up a little more. Let's push these documents away, shall we?
Yes, the ghosts of Wisteria Lane have a lot to say. I turn on Desperate Housewives. I think he has the thing where it, like, he knows how much he likes the show, and it's definitely like the mental breakdown show. So he has it like recorded, you know, somewhere in the TV. And just season 3 episode probably like 30 something.
From your half year of being in bed, you've watched it a lot.
Oh yeah. And I don't tell her about it. Obviously, in Becca's mind, we're both at the same point in the series. We don't know what happened.
Of course. Well, as the TV goes on, we zoom in on Desperate Housewives, and as we zoom out, we are on the street. Elijah standing by Section 31. Astrid popping up behind you.
Oh. Astrid, hi.
Hi, why are you here?
I could
Did y'all hear me?
return the... Yeah, we hear.
It sounded very funny for a second, though.
Yeah. I could return the question, actually. But I won't. Actually, I will. Why are you
Then
here?
I won't. I need to distract myself with work.
Oh, yeah. Well, it seems as though to me work has been a distraction. Well, less than a distraction. I don't know. Whatever. Mike did say that we weren't allowed to go in there.
He also lied to us so he could fucking deal with it.
I
Hell
like
yeah.
this energy.
Hell
I
yeah.
love this energy.
Yes.
She's
Well-
just tired and wants to get shit done.
Damn right.
Well, you know what? Sure. Elijah's gonna. He would like to look around, see if. I would say that he would have probably arrived at like maybe after lunch or something like that. And he would like to look around, see if anybody's paying any attention to the station, sorry, to them, to Elijah and Astrid.
No, not really. You're just standing around, no one really cares for you. The section seems more or less unwatched. Would you like to make me a spot hidden check?
I would love to.
Should I also?
Yeah, if you're looking, go ahead.
Spot
I'm-
hidden, spot hidden.
Oh,
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness.
Oh my god.
oh my god.
We
Oh my
are
God.
perceiving the fuck out of this place.
Oh lord. Well, no, there's no one watching. However, Mike's car is by there. It is in the parking lot. And you can see within the windows up above the door in that he is heading down the stairs currently.
Let's hide. Let's hide.
Yeah, we should have.
Righty.
I don't know what this energy is, but Elijah is writing it. The sort of being sneaky.
Could you make me a stealth check? I think it's stealth at least.
It is called stealth, and
Right.
I am
Whoever,
funnily bad at it.
whoever has the highest stealth can roll and then remove a d10 because you both are helping each other.
Astrid, what's
What's
your stealth?
your 35?
Okay, minus 20. You have the best. God, we are not stealthy.
Oh no.
Yeah, you roll and you'll remove 10, yeah.
AD10,
Come on.
wasn't it not? Yes.
Oh, roll
okay,
roll a d10.
wait.
I don't, yeah,
No, it's not gonna,
I-
even if it's,
It's not gonna
10,
work.
It's gonna...
Well,
That's well.
some people look at you strangely as you kind of try to cram yourself inside a like behind one of those electric boxes. However, Mike drives past since he seems to be listening to something. He's got a phone in one hand and the wheel in the other.
bad. Terrible driving. Anyway, let's go in.
We need a fool of ourselves.
Yeah, let us not make further fools of ourselves.
So in you go. Sorry.
Yes. As Elijah would unlock the door, he would turn to Astrid and say, if you need any help with whatever you're researching, I'd be glad to help.
I'm not exactly sure what I'm researching today. I might just focus on the case.
Oh. Well, if you need help in figuring out what you're researching, I'm also there. Actually, maybe I don't know. I got a lead. Something weird. Maybe I was going to show the others. Actually, it was given to me by a friend. Let's say a link to a video. I don't know. You could always have that. Don't know how related it is to whatever you're doing, but I was gonna show it to you either way.
Okay. I can listen or watch.
Oh hell yeah. Let me read it up again because I love this one. For anyone listening, a friend of mine, a guest writer, wrote this one, so it's not quite my style, but I absolutely love it. Is everyone ready?
We are.
Oh yes.
Lizzie, are you ready?
I'm kind of scared because what Fred put in general.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Spooky on the Rocks. It's me, the Bradster, together with Stan and our editor, Vanessa. Today we are on a visit in England, and it's like a British accent. You know what they say, su casa es mi casa. God, Brad, this is serious, Vanessa says. The Bradster says, hey, you know what I'm about. Anyhow, spooksters, we're exploring Wenston Church. It's said that after a stranger appeared there some 800 years ago, the church would disappear. Isn't that right, Vanessa? Yeah, it said that every 10 years the church would vanish for nights, only to appear the day after with water and seaweed in the edges of its ruin. However, recently it's been disappearing more often. If the date is right, it should vanish today. And since everyone else gone cold turkey, I'll be exploring it. So I say, let's leave. Remember to keep the recording on. They specifically asked for visual on the church. Don't get yourself killed, bud. And off we go, broskies. You can see him enter the church ruins, the roof holding together, more or less. His torch passes over what seems to be water-damaged flooring, which he checks with his foot. The flooring breaks and he shines down through the cracks. Yo! Wine cellar, we are so going there. Last. Well, eye freaks, do you like the view? He continues further in. Through the footage you can hear what sounds like a walkie-talkie. There's 10 minutes left. Over. Let's find ourselves a seat then. Over. The footage continues for a full 8 minutes before anything changes. Suddenly, the church is filled by a sweeping light, ghostly white, spreading from one side to the other, and as it disappears, a fog settles along the church and the footage becomes awful grainy. Hey, am I allowed to get cold feet too? Over? The walkie-talkie doesn't respond. Guess that makes sense. Can't have technology work when the terrorists come, eh, audience? At least I have you. You know what they say. Su casa es mi casa. The footage shows him getting back up, climbing on rubble. The camera pans over a window, the grain and fog obstructing any details. A bluish-grey landscape with a searching light from the sky, panning over the landscape and then what seems to be a coast. Okay, so this is like one of those SCPs Theo keeps nerding on about. Did we teleport, or is this like a different dimension? Well, I have to record it, so vamos, which is bad Spanish for let's go, let us go, like we. Oh, nope, no. What the hell are you? The camera briefly pans over a silhouette of a tall person. You can't move, right? Please don't move. Don't move. Please, no. Fuck! The basement! You can see him running towards the hole. He climbs down hurriedly into the darkness. Fuck. Get away from me! Okay, time. Scuttle away. Leave. Yeah, if I could. God, ouch, damn, Dios fucking mio. Vanessa? Vanessa! Please answer. Stan? Anyone? Over. The walkie-talkie crackles. You're all alone, Brad. Over. No, I'm not. There's a murder statue with me. That's worse. Oh, wait, who even is this? Over. A bystander, some call me. I watch, but do not judge. Like Santa, but not to deem you naughty. I'm like God, but I won't help you. Over. So you're one of those eye freaks then? Over. They birthed me. Yes, but I am not them. But you brought them here to find me. I'm so sorry. Assuming you hate them, or you're welcome? I don't know, just please don't hurt me. The camera suddenly cracks and shows only static. How did you? This place has been undisturbed since its death. The lighthouse is a contortion of a corpse. You crawled through it like a maggot, only on a hook made by ice and cobweb. The hook is gone, and the deep is still craving you. What monsters lay under the surface you cannot understand, but I can show you all of it. Nope, I'm closing my eyes. Fuck you. The sound then goes out as you can hear Brad scream out, things falling over and static, eventually ear-splittingly high before the recording ends due to what seems to be corruption.
That's it.
That is the video. Yeah.
Yeah, that has something to do with the lighthouse church.
There is a church and there is a lighthouse, that's for sure.
Lighthouse who?
Huh?
Lighthouse what?
There is a
I'm
church and there is a lighthouse, yes.
No, I'm talking in character to
Sorry, my bad.
Astrid.
Oh. It kind of reminded me of something my mom mentioned in one of her rare sober moments.
Oh shit. Sorry to hear that.
Something about the Church of the False Lighthouse. It just words resembled that. It might not actually be it.
Sorry if I intrude. What happened to your parents?
I do not know. They just went missing one day, and I haven't found any clues on where they are.
Well, if they went missing, maybe it's kind of like the church, right? Maybe they'll reappear sometime soon.
If they did, I hope they're better.
Damn.
Oh my God. Sorry.
She's just like here imagining punching her dad in the face. Owed me my money.
Elijah would look and go, well, yeah, that's what I got. If you have some leads on, a church and a lighthouse and disappearances, that sounds pretty related. Vaguely related, I guess. Apparently it has something to do with my stuff, so.
We could probably find something in the... Fuck, what is it called again, IRL?
The archives?
Yeah, the archives.
True.
Maybe we could
also, I managed to find the email for the editor of this channel.
Is
If
that
you'd want
so?
to contact, yeah, if you'd want to contact, I would love to. I do have some. I was planning actually on contacting that person today, though I do have another investigation, but that can wait. If we have both vested interest in this, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what I know. Right now, it's
Well, I'm afraid I don't know much. All that I know is I pull out the piece of paper onto which I have written the email. I found that while I was sort of scouring, well, I was going to say their socials, but really it's only their YouTube channel. And I found, an email address for the editor. The other thing I'll say is that it's weird. They seem to, I'm not going to give much, como se dice? I'm not going to give much leeway to this Bratster guy, but the talk of the terrors and eye freaks seems like they know more, maybe, than what they're letting on.
they seem pretty calm despite the situation.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe, yeah, they actually do know more than what meets the eye, and maybe that's why you're so
We
sort of.
will get more information from him than we will from Mike.
True. I mean, what I'll say is, we should definitely look into that. I would like
Yeah.
it much more if we could get some information from the editor rather than Brad, but either way, your call. Apparently it has something to do with you, so.
Well, I'd rather not do this by myself.
Right, well, I'm around. Want to draft up an email?
Yes.
Would walk to the computer, the Windows 7, not the 95. The 95 one is France. We have made that clear. The
Been claimed.
Windows 7, yeah, the
Windows
Windows 7
7.
computer.
Yeah.
That is on Elijah's sort of desk, and he'd start concocting up an email and look at Astron. So, what do we say? I mean, this is like the proper official email, so we should start it by saying like, "Oh, we're officers, right?"
Yeah, we should introduce ourselves first.
Right.
Ac-
Hello.
We are doing this off the clock.
Right. Well, it's not like they're gonna check, are they?
Can't
Michael's not the
Mike?
most watchful guy.
Yeah, but you really want to leave any clues behind for him?
You know what? That's right. I actually got myself a cricket phone, so maybe I could contact them from there. I have a bunch of fake accounts. Not in a suspicious way or anything, just for investigations and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Believable. And I won't question it though. Oh my gosh, what is she crying about? Oh, I'm sorry, my cat's throwing a fit. What is it? What?
Cat break.
Why are you whining? Is Mom okay? Why are you running over there? Mom, you okay? What? Okay. The little one's being weird, and she ran over here like something was wrong with you.
She's fucking heat, okay? I've got my good ear down.
She is not shutting up. You're right. Yes, they're hearing you complain about her.
That's alright.
Oh,
She's a teen, so she's throwing a fit about everything.
Welcome back.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, she's good. Everything's good. Where were we? I completely forgot.
Welcome back.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Astrid?
Just so you'll know, the
Oh.
entire time she's literally up my butt, walking up and down the hall with me.
God.
Well,
I might.
writing an email, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, email.
um, would you like to maybe organize something among yourselves? Or would you like to improv an email?
We can improv it,
Alright.
right? I mean,
I think.
I'll send it from one of my fake accounts, which is gonna look very suspicious, but whatever. It's a variation of the name Elijah Simmons. It's
Eli Simmons.
called Eli Sims.
Eli Sims.
And
Eli Sim.
Oh god, you don't know
And-
how relevant that is.
Oh god.
oh no! Oh wait!
Wait, yeah,
Shush.
well, yeah.
Okay, go go on.
And it's like, hello? Because this is unofficial, I don't know if we should actually go ahead and refer to us as officers. I think we say, yeah, I think we say, I would turn to Astrid, of course, and say, I think it's better if we just pretend that we're fans.
Yeah, fans sound good, but it might just push him away.
That's true. Honestly, we might as well just do it on the official email. And then I don't know, delete it or something like that.
Let's take a picture on one of our phones and then delete it. Just
Yeah,
so we
perfect.
have proof that we actually did it.
Yeah, sounds fair enough. Right, so we're actually gonna use the computer.
Oh my god.
We're gonna write, good morning, Officer Elijah Simmons and Astrid Miracle talking. We have reason to trust that after watching your video, I'm gonna paste the link. We have reason to trust that you may be implicated in one of our investigations. We would like to further discuss this either on the phone or in person at Langley Station. Obviously, when I say, and I would say Officer Elijah Simmons and Astrid Miracle, I would say of Section 31. And yeah, pretty much it. Being very dry, very straight to the point.
Alright. And flip, sent. And
We just have to wait.
as it's sent, we get this view of inside the computer technology, and as it comes out of a phone that's suddenly ring, 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 ring. Francesca.
Oh.
Wait, is it me ring? Who's ringing? Am I ringing or am I getting? Am I getting
It's-
rung?
Click.
It's wronging you.
It's ringing me. Okay. I shall pick up the phone. Boop.
Put
That's the noise it makes.
Hey, Francesca. It's me, Anna. You gave me your number.
Anna. Yes, I did. No, I need to get in character. Wait a second. I was too relaxed.
Yeah,
I
I
need to
did.
I need to get more grumpy. Yeah, I did. No, I need to be grumpy. I need to be grumpy. I need to be grumpy.
Yes.
I can't do it. Okay.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
did.
Yeah, I did.
can-
I didn't expect you to call this soon.
Well, I've looked into and maybe publicly shamed a certain few people. I just wanted to tell you that I did so, because you wanted to kind of be along with this. Well, yeah. I was curious if maybe, and you can almost hear the hair twirling going on, maybe you could grab any information you can get on Jameson?
You mean on Grimes?
Yeah.
You know this is technically illegal, right?
Mm,
But yeah, I'll see what I can get. I'll see what I can get. That guy is suspicious as it is. And technically it's involved in a case, so, you know.
that's true.
All I'm gonna say is, I did talk to my boss. Like I said I would. Don't go after Marlowe.
Um,
I know you said you wouldn't, but I know you said it with a smile. At least in your voice. Do not go after him. He's... At least for now. Grimes is safer, I suppose. I'll see what I can do.
could you make me a persuasion check with a minus d10?
Oh no. Oh no. I'm not good at those.
Or well, I mean, you can choose intimidate, persuade, or charm, whichever one you'd prefer.
I'm not intimidated. Why is my... Wait a second. Roll 20 has given up on me. Give me 1 second. Everything is closed. I don't know why. I think my laptop is... No, it's loading. There we go. Persuasion. My persuasion is abysmal. My intimidation is not much better. So... Oh, this is not gonna succeed at all. Charm is also worse. So we're gonna do charm, I suppose.
Would you like to roll the d10?
Yes, I will.
4. Okay.
4.
67. Well, that's pretty. That's close enough, right? No.
So-
No.
No.
Well,
Hmm.
Francesca, I hear you. I hear you. Do you promise that we'll do something together eventually? Because we can't just sit idly. That's just not something I can do. Not now. Not that I've been involved.
As soon as we can do something about him, I promise you that we will. As soon as it is possible. And, I mean, not safe, it's never going to be safe, but as safe as it can be, I suppose. Then yes.
Okay. Well, will you still search up the information about Jameson? Because I need something to do.
I'll see what I can find. Although I don't think we should maybe... I don't think this is something where I should send over the phone if I do find anything.
Well, we can meet up and you can tell me.
Sure.
Weekend?
I'm free.
Well, I'll call you back. And
Okay.
this will boop.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
All right. You wanna gather your brain cells?
I've dropped them on the floor. Yeah, I guess Fran's gonna... What time of day is it at this point?
Well, you have gone around to like 3 different stores around a few
Yep.
hours. It would be around lunchtime. Maybe a little later.
Fran would probably head to the station then, because she's not really got much else going on. Maybe she'd grab something like a sandwich on the way or something.
All right. You're going to the
Then head-
station then.
And she'd head to the... Yeah, oh god, I just realised they're all getting there. Oh, okay. Yeah, she'd probably head towards the station and, like, have a quick look at what she can find.
Awkward.
Oh, God, the awkward meetup.
It's gonna be... Oh god, because she's gonna walk in, like, sandwich in hand, or like she's gonna go to the, like, Subway or something, I don't know. And just...
Yeah, like what's it called? Not Subway. Oh my
Sub,
god. Domway.
underground,
Domway. Let's
underground,
go.
Dumway. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Either way. Either way. Sorry.
Either way,
You get your sandwich, and we'll get back to you. Astrid, Elijah.
Yes.
Listening.
Yeah. Like, if we're going to be realistic, writing to someone like this, it would probably take a few days, for the sake of everything. Actually, no, I don't even need to say that. Surprisingly, you get back an email from them pretty quickly. Actually, you sit there like a couple hours, probably, making sure to look out the window if Mike would be coming back.
One of us is on watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get back an email.
What's it say?
Hello, Elijah and Astrid. Wait, can you remind me exactly what you said in the message? It was
Officer Simmons and Officer Miracle. We believe, after watching this video, that you may be involved in one of our investigations. We'd like to talk on the phone or in person at Langley Station, etc. And obviously mentioning the fact that we are from Section 31.
all right. Hello, officers. I live in America. I could set up a call on, and she gives any variety of different links. You can call me there. I'll be able to respond up until the evening today. I'd love to talk. Whatever you have in your investigation, I would love to help you to the best of my ability.
Yes. Perfect. You know, looking for information, it's kind of like fishing. My dad was a weird guy, you know. I turned to Astrid, fully monologuing. You know, my dad was a weird guy, but sometimes we'd go out fishing at times. And whenever whenever something catches, it's like, "Arr, I did it." Anyway.
Okay.
Just fully
She's just looking at
rambling.
him side-eyeing. She's just side-eyeing him like, is he okay?
Eli just never looked more okay. Yeah. How would we go about setting up a call? Do we have to send her another
Well,
email or anything like that?
There's Zoom. There's 3 different social media that you could call them through that I'm just not gonna mention, but you know which
Yes.
3 probably.
Yeah. We would use one of those. Try to set up a call. Yes. To the earliest convenience, actually.
Well, Francesca,
yes.
you would walk in as you would hear a bloop, bring broom, bring broom, bring broom, bring broom, as you see Elijah and Astrid sitting in front of a camera.
You video calling her. Oh god. Brad's gonna sort of walk in mid-bite of sandwich, sort of, I guess, raise an eyebrow at what's happening. See if they notice her walking in. First of all, she wants to see. Have they noticed her walking in?
Astrid totally would have.
I think Elijah would be too focused on the call, actually. So yeah.
I was gonna say, I think she'd just sort of do a little, be like, okay, didn't think they'd be here. Do a little shrug, and then I guess turn and go into the archives. I think she's gonna try and figure out the archives first and see if there's anything in there before.
All right. Well, yeah. Actually, whatever would you want to search for?
Anything. The name Jason, or the name Grimes, or the name Jason Grimes,
Oh,
or
Jameson.
Jameson, not Jason. Why am I saying Jason?
Jason.
can
Jameson
already
Grimes.
I
Yes,
can
yes.
already sense. I can already sense the AI being like, "Oh, they're talking about Grimes."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're talking about no, because last time they did say we were talking about Grimes a lot, and I was like, that's...
yeah, small pause here. When we uploaded the VODs to YouTube, they filled in like, oh yeah, Marlo West. I guess you mean Kanye West,
Yeah.
and by
So-
by Grimes you mean this Grimes, right?
This Grimes, yes.
Ex-wife of Elon Musk. Like what? Sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
Lord.
funny. Anyway, yeah. So she'd search up anyone. Yeah, the name Jameson, the name Grimes, the name Jameson Grimes. I suppose also she'd search up Marlowe, but isn't expecting to find anything on him there really.
All right.
Considering this is apparently the first thing he's been involved in.
Righty. Make me a check, a library use check.
Oh, good
Good
lord.
luck.
Oh,
Good
I should have. You know, I put so many points into law,
luck.
thinking it would be useful.
Law.
It
I
might.
didn't put.
At some point.
I didn't put many
Oh,
points
God, that is a
into
fumble.
library use.
Ooh.
I trip and fall and I burn down the archives.
Okay. Could you add the
No,
bonus?
kidding. Don't do. No. Okay.
Huh?
Oh God.
How is that even possible?
Wait, no. It
What?
has a -1.
What do you mean?
Oh, is it because is it because when you have a fumble you can't add?
Oh, can you not add bonuses when you fumble?
It could be that.
No, you can.
Oh.
You just have a -1 for some reason.
I just. Why do I have a -1? Where? Where do I have a
Well,
-1?
that's lovely.
Why do you have negative numbers?
I don't know, Lizzie. I think I did something wrong when I made my character sheet.
Either way, the fumble doesn't change much. It just is that you're sprawling out, you drop some, and everything is on the floor, which surely will have no consequences. You find the
Shit.
document. We'll take it after though, because you rolled so fucking horribly. Ring, 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 ring. Bloop. Someone joins. There's the name Vanessa, and then another one joins. Bloop. And its name is Katie. Eventually, Vanessa turns on her camera and she waves. Hello, officers.
Hello. Hi. Introductions are of order. But I think you know our names. I'm Officer Simmons. This is Officer Miracle.
Right. Well, I'm Vanessa. Katie is here. She's, she's part of the team. Hi.
Alright. Well, let's start there. I think I turn to Astrid, have a few questions.
Oh god,
mostly
don't let Elijah
regarding-
interview people.
Mostly regarding the episode in the church. Most specifically, the reason why we believe it may be linked to investigation is that it may have ties to the Church of the... I turn to Astrid to finish the name of the church.
I have to look it up again, IRL. I keep forgetting the name.
False Lighthouse.
Church of the False Lighthouse, we are assuming.
You hear from Katie's side, just a huh. And Vanessa, oh, well, right. You're inclined that way then. Are you real officers?
Yes, officers of Section 31, yes.
Oh.
Okay, that doesn't tell me much.
Mhm.
Section 31, what's it about?
M&A, movement, mobility, and action. Oh, you're American. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Bloody hell. I don't know if you have the... We investigate weird stuff with a capital
That's all you need to say,
W.
yeah. Yes. False Lighthouse, we recognized that. We were looking into that. I guess you saw that one video of ours?
Oh yeah, we saw.
Indeed.
Right. Well, everyone is okay. Everyone is all right. Brad didn't get hurt too much. Then you hear this almost like sad noise. Just a sad noise coming from Katie. Either way, yes, we were investigating into that. Uh, I don't think we could tell you much though, since whatever that thing was in there certainly didn't let us investigate further.
What was that thing? Do you have any information? Anything that Brad would have been able to tell you?
Well, I'm sure he would have a lot to say if he was still alive, but sadly not. And then you just hear Katie leave the call. Well,
All my condolences.
yeah, well, it is what it is. He's a he was a stupid guy. Either way, the show kept going, and we're still looking for answers, although it's difficult. Katie has a good nose for trouble, so we tend to get into a lot, but it's hard to get any information when you're being chased all the time.
Chased? Who are you chased by?
Huh? Recently, the group that killed Brad, we call them, well, they're just, I don't know how to describe them. They're people, they burn and they explode. They are supposedly called that. Well, they're part of a thing called the Temple of the Crucible. They seem to maybe praise the sun in some weird, fucked up, burn people alive kind of way.
Right. Right. Okay.
We killed a lot of them.
You what? Excuse me? How so?
Self-defense. Well, yes, self-defense. She gives you a dishonest smile.
I must ask if there's any cases on this in your local. I'm having trouble with real words today. Police stations or anything?
She shakes her head after a little bit of a delay. Nope, not really. They tried to get involved once, but they didn't do much else than keep us in place for something to catch us. We're more or less doing fine without them, and they don't know a lot.
If it doesn't bother you so much, can you tell us more about the loss of your friend?
Sure. I, if you want, we could go through some of the more important findings, I suppose.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
that.
Yeah. It kind of all started. We went to a village. The village had writing in Spanish, Old Spanish, Spanish inquisitors running along Old America. We read them. What we suppose was a Wendigo appeared. We survived more or less. We had to hospitalize. God, it was so long ago. Probably was Brad, to be fair. Either way, he was hospitalized for some time. As we continued investigating, there was a textile factory, one where the clothes were sewn off of skin, and they would walk like people. They would bulge in weird ways. Um, we visited a pool where there was water that led much deeper than it ever could have and should have. Brad, again, fell in. However, somehow he got out. Katie would know more about that. Some sort of ability that they have as hunters. I'm not sure exactly. Uh,
Right.
Trying to remember. There's a lot that has been going on, of course. Well, at least that happened, and as we were on the hunt for things, we were looking for ways to stop things and people from dying. It led to this encounter by the Crucible, the Temple of the Crucible's hideout, so to say. They blew it up. Many people were hurt and died. There were other creatures there. A entity, Katie, and you hear like a name, like well, some creature called Dr. Pitch. Um, a creature made out of all bugs. It was like a war zone, I guess. Um, the world was on fire, and during that time, Brad, well, didn't make it out. Makes sense. Unreasonable that he lived that long, honestly. Though we still bear sorrow for him, it doesn't help.
Right.
We got into contact with some people, I suppose. I guess they are people that watched our videos. There would be a lot of comments from people saying that they want to see more, and when they eventually contacted us, that's what we kind of had to do. If we didn't want to disappear, they would need to see more, and that's why we went to Winston Church. Not because we were investigating much, but because they needed to see more.
Is this why? Is this what Brad was referring to? Eye freaks.
Yeah.
I see.
You do
How?
have research about this stuff, right?
A little bit. A tiny bit. As much as we can, I suppose.
If it's not much of a problem, do you think you could send us over that information?
About
If
what
it's
specifically?
if you can just talk.
Winston Church, I think.
Right, well, I think everything I said in the video applies. Can't tell you much more. Or, well, I guess if you want to visit, she does some thinking in her head, calculating. It should disappear relatively soon.
You're in America, correct?
Yeah.
Fucking
Do
hell.
you know where it appeared?
Yeah, it's the same space. It's a small town called Winston. It's nothing special, nothing particular. Um, where are you centered? It might be close or might not.
London.
No.
London.
London.
Oh, London. Well, it's a day away, but or well, it's less than a day away, I suppose, if you drive all day. But yeah, no, like 8 hour. I say an 8 hour
Okay.
drive because it's in the middle of nowhere, really. But if you took a flight, it would be a lot closer. I'm not sure. You can probably get there within the day. It's on Sunday. It should disappear again.
Fucking hell. All right. Well,
When will it
As you-
reappear if you know?
Well, it's
good question.
it's there for the night. So Brad was in there a couple hours, ran, head.
But he made it out. Did he make it out because of some sort of ability?
Um, Katie kind of comes in on the screen. You see this scruffy looking woman, all angry. Just goes, whatever he could have done, he couldn't get out, he said. He has this compass in his head, which he can point towards someone he knows, or so on, someone he's been close to. He couldn't, not within there. He tried. He said he tried, but he couldn't.
Yet he didn't die. He still made it back, right?
Yeah, he did.
That's reassuring, actually. Well, unless you have any sort of other information that would be pertinent to the Church of the False Lighthouse, I think this is all we can ask for, really.
Well, you've got my numbers, or well, my socials here at least. You can tell me. Yeah. No, we can't do much for you. Sorry, sad to say.
Oh, actually, have you ever met in person with one of those eye freaks?
She shakes her head.
Right. Any sort of socials that we could contact them through?
No, it's fake accounts. They're not real, but well, the consequences are real. One of our friends tore their eyes out.
Well, all my condolences for. And Elijah sort of refrains himself from saying, "All my condolences for your friend's eye and your dead friend," and he just says,
Oh god.
"All my condolences in regards for Brad. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much. This was very helpful. Do you have any other questions, Astrid?"
No, but I will contact you if I think of any.
Sorry,
Right.
when did you say you were gonna contact them?
If I think of any.
Oh, right. Well, we'll say goodbye then, right, Katie? Katie just gives you the finger and walks away. Vanessa sighs and
Understand.
clicks.
That Katie person was very. I don't know
Aggressive.
if I should say. Yeah, I don't know if I should said rude or American.
God.
Somewhere in the middle, perhaps. Either way, what do we
Honestly,
do about this?
well, we got a little information from it.
That's true.
I guess we could look outside to see if we could connect anything.
Do you want to
I
go
believe
to
Fred-
that place, though?
Yeah.
It disappears on Sunday.
I don't think it's safe to. Not with the
Maybe
little knowledge.
That's true. It might be our only lead. Actually, if maybe you could buy a camera, set it in the church, something with a live feed, something through which we could watch as it disappears. Trying to understand.
Forgot. I'm trying to remember what they're called. The helicopter small plane.
Oh, drones?
Yeah, drones. Why can't I say?
Oh yeah, right. A drone. A drone could actually work. We could even try to, as it disappears, head out through a window or something to try to see where it actually goes to. Get an aerial view. Yes, Very good idea.
Yeah.
It is surprisingly easy to acquire a drone in central London.
It is. I thought they would be a lot more expensive, but apparently you can get one pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
You can?
Nowadays, yeah.
Wait, how much is a
Like
camera
like-
drone?
like yeah, like 40 quid.
Quid.
The camera drawing
Yeah, you know.
Quid is
here.
my favorite thing that I've ejected into your vocabulary, know me.
It's like, oh, 40 quid, 20 quid. Fucking 3,000 40,000. No, not 40,000. 4,000 quid. It's like, yeah, you can get cheap ones, and if you're going for a one-time use, well, you know.
Oh, there's a 50 quid one from Argos.
We'll get,
you know
anything about
Argos, they're
get
great.
Like
Their
we'll get
catalogs.
like we'll get like a proper one from which we can have like sort of a live feed, and I think that's a good enough plan, actually.
I guess we're going on a trip.
Elijah, could you make me a sanity
Your
check?
favorite rocket trick.
Oh, God. I would love to. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Elijah's just
Guys,
really
look.
traumatized by drones.
guys, look. I can't fail
Literally.
this.
Oh.
I can't
Hey.
fail this. I told you.
You
I also
told
know
You
me.
told
You'll be
me.
very glad to know I did actually check and fix my character sheet finally. It turns out I had a 60 in intimidation.
Yeah, look at you.
But yeah, there you go. Here you go. Fixed it.
So, Brad,
Yes.
you get this itch, like, you've been talking for a while, you go to the window, and you see that Mike is kind of driving in along and getting ready to enter the building.
Oh fuck.
But before that, Francesca, would you like to read the case?
I will certainly read the case. If I'm allowed to, Mother.
Mm-hmm. You find two
Yay.
parts of this one, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. First one, case 5A, Langley Station section of missing peoples. Date of archiving 2023, October 23. Subject of relevance. Subject 1, Ollie Smith, and Subject 2, Ronald Delmond. Case opened following possible disappearances. Ollie Smith, a safety controller for Newington Green subway station, reported a group of people entering an unregistered train. The people in question can be seen entering the train at 14:53 Sunday, September 25th, on a train without registration numbers and without, in any clear way stated, direction or heading. The people in question cannot be identified. They do not seem to be forced nor in any kind of distress. We were given permission to document data from the time of their disappearances and the following 2 days by the Minister of Transportation. During that time, the train did not arrive, nor were the people sighted on any of the cameras. There was established a force of K9 as well as drones that were sent in to seek out any of the missing peoples. The drones lost contact while within, and during the expedition of retrieval, nothing of interest was found. Here's the statement of now discredited Captain Jameson Grimes. Although graffiti is abundant in those parts of the subway, there were no sign of people, nor did the footage of the drones or the reactions of the K9 show anything of interest. His shoddy disinterest in the case is what led to his temporary close, as well as the tragedy that continued. The case was reopened 10 days after, when the supposed remains of Mr. Smith was found by his friend Mr. Delmond, following a supposed expedition the same day into a glossed-over unexplored tunnel within the subway. However, it was in such bad shape its transportation left it unrecognizable. The clothes found were unmistakably his, however, and there are notes spanning a large period of time which, then deciphered, shall find its way into your possession. The case was later closed after the incarceration of Ronald Desmond following his terrorist attack on the very same station. With the
Oh my
tunnel
God.
sealed, our hands were tied. Without proper economic investments, this case is thoroughly finished and will be archived. With the strangeness inherent to the case and due to the request of the section of viability and action, that's how it's called. It should
Hmm?
also be shared with them.
Yes, okay.
Viability and action, not
Viability in action. I'm gonna write that down.
That's case
I'm
A.
writing all this.
And
Okay.
attached to the file is case B, the recovered notes from the note block.
Ooh.
Do you want me to read it as well?
Okay. I'm scared because you asked that question.
Recovered notes from note block. Presumed author Ollie Smith. Entries dated approximately post disappearance. Exact time undetermined. Entry 1. The cable pulled tight 5 minutes in. No response from the other end. I tested the line. It held, but there's slack now, like it's been unspooled. The tunnel widened. I didn't notice when. It's not a tunnel anymore. It's a station. Massive. Quiet as bone. Can't see the ceiling, just hanging lights, dim and swinging. Feels like they've been moving for a long time. There are trains here. Not one, not three. I counted 20, then lost track. All still, all quiet. Some rusted over. One's covered in soot like it burned from the inside. None of them look new or real. They're like sketches of trains, images, not real anymore. Doors won't open, windows are too fogged to see through. I thought I saw someone move in one, just a flicker, but I can't be sure. I knocked, no one answered. Just the sound of my hand and then nothing, not even echo. This place swallows any sound I make. Tree 5. The graffiti's here too, same phrase. End of the line. Sprayed in red, scratched in rusts, carved deep in concrete, repeating over and over. It's not vandalism though, I realize it's branding. Entry 6. Still no way back. The tracks don't curve, they just stop. Can't tell if the train I followed is among them. If it is, it's hiding. Entry 7. I've stopped yelling, stopped counting time. My watch ticks, but it feels wrong, like it's measuring something else than seconds. Entry 8. I saw someone between two trains, a woman or a piece of cloth that moved like one. I followed, but there's nothing there now. But one of the train doors is open. Was that always open? Entry 9. My light's dying. I think I'll sit in one of the trains, just to rest, just to be. Maybe that's what everyone else did. Maybe that's all there is.
Ooh. Okay. And
And-
is there nothing else on there?
Nothing else on there. What you would hear though is Elijah going, "Oh shit!"
Mike alert, Mike alert, Mike alert. I repeat, Mike alert.
Fran is gonna, I guess, quickly gather the statements that dropped on the floor. And
There's too many. No,
is she
but
gonna take them with her? No,
Oh.
she's probably gonna take.
I could
Yeah,
I could help you with that.
no. I'm like, see, I don't think she would, because I think, despite the fact that she's always like, this place doesn't work on normal police rules, she's gonna try and follow the law where she can, like with the, so she's not gonna take them. She's just gonna try to memorize them, I suppose. Or like just pick out the key points and then put them back as best she can where everything came from. Before going out to see why Elijah was so upset. Well, see why he's shouting Mike alert.
there's like a few seconds before you can you have like a choice now. What are you gonna do, all three of you? Francesca is there. Everyone is like looking at each other, panicked. What's gonna happen?
We absolutely actually. I don't want to deal with Mike. Yeah, bye.
I think Fran's gonna peek out the window, see how close Mike is, and depending on that is gonna depend on what she's gonna do, to be honest.
The car is just about to be turned off.
Oh, so he's like, is he
He's
right
in
outside the
He's in
building?
the parking lot, yeah.
Yeah. If we left, he would see us, wouldn't he?
That's true. Probably.
Is there a back door?
Is there a back door?
It's a very good question.
There
Are there
is-
fire escapes in this building?
There is fire escapes in the sense of there is a stairway through one of the windows,
Sick.
Oh.
like an iron one that leads down.
Yeah, Fran's gonna
Yeah,
go out
but
the window.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
that's right in front of Mr. Mike, is it not?
No, 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 on the side.
No, it's on the side.
Oh, it's on the side. Oh, how lovely. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, Fran's gonna look out the window, see Mike's pretty much there, immediately turn, walk to the window with the fire escape by it, open the door, and climb straight out the window. I mean, and climb straight out. She's not gonna say anything to any of the others. She might give them like a little nod of acknowledgement as she walks past, and then she climbs out the window.
Astrid's just gonna follow her.
Actually, obviously everybody's gonna go and it's gonna be all fun. Question to Miss DM: is Mike's like office door like open? Is there anything I can glean like if I look at his office as I'm walking out? Of course. Is there anything of note per se?
There's two piles of cases that he seems to be sorting currently.
God, I don't have time for this. I mean, I do, but I don't. Oh shit! Can I make a luck? No, I don't want to be that.
Make a luck check.
person. I want.
Oh
Okay.
no! Why did you? Okay.
I am quite lucky. Okay.
All right, so you can choose. Do you want to take one or not?
I'll take one.
Oh god.
All right, all right.
He's definitely gonna notice.
Oh yeah.
So the one you take, you look at it while you're exiting. It's a statement given like a long time ago, 2008, by Redacted. And you climb out of the window. Could you make me a strength check?
Oh God, I am not strong.
Wait, all of us or just Elijah?
Assuming you have already started getting down down the stairway, it's Elijah.
Oh God.
Oh
Good-
no!
good luck,
Oh, is it
everybody.
not strong enough to hold everybody?
Good luck, everybody else. Oh my God.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
You panic, like
Love.
almost crying, like, please go down! And it does. As the window
Oh.
closes, you hurry down as you see Mike enter through the door. Good job, y'all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody else. Oh my God.
Fran is going
Well-
to pull her sandwich out of wherever she was keeping it and just continue to eat it.
God. Fair enough.
For the rest of the day, Elijah's gonna look for the cheapest yet best drone to buy, even though it's a one-time use, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys that much of workaholics that you couldn't last one day without being in work?
Didn't you also come here?
Yeah, but it wasn't for
Aren't
work.
you also working?
No.
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 Then-
It wasn't for
What-
it wasn't for work.
And what was it for?
Personal reasons.
Yeah,
Then
well,
that-
same here.
Okay then. Glad we have an understanding.
Makes three of us. Can I ask what kind of personal stuff? Is it related to an investigation, maybe?
I suppose. I was looking into Jameson Grimes.
No fucking way. Oh, you know, yeah. I mean, of course, Jameson Graham. What'd you find? What'd you find?
Not much, to be honest. I found out the reason he was. Oh, what's the? I've completely forgotten the word for it.
Discharged?
I keep thinking, yeah, I kept thinking excommunicated, and I know that's not right. I was like, that's not
the
what
church.
happened. Yeah, I know. So I was like, that's not right. I found out the reason he was discharged. He seemed to have mishandled a case quite severely. I don't even think mishandled would be the right word for what happened.
Right. What case though? Like,
Did you hear about? We would have heard. We've heard about this case. Any of us?
Well, yeah.
Like, we probably might not have
I
known
most
he
likely-
mishandled it.
Yeah,
Elijah,
yeah.
Elijah knows of it. Elijah only knows of the first part,
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
The Smith case, that turned into the Desmond case, I suppose, involving Langley Station.
You want treat, don't you?
The station,
the one
Langley
ne-
Station, is
yeah.
the police station.
Sorry, Langley,
Newington Green.
Newington Green. Oh,
Yes.
goodness,
Don't worry,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
worry.
No.
Calm yourself. Yeah.
Oh
Involving
goodness.
Newington
Goodness,
Green.
yeah, I mean, of course I knew. I mean, that's where Becca lives, actually, and that's where I worked before all this.
Well, it seems Mr. Smith had a subterranean exploration adventure before
Oh,
he was found. One that involved an unending tunnel and uncountable numbers of trains. Sounds more like our kind of thing than anything else.
yeah, tunnel. Did it say anything about feeling like trapped or buried? Maybe, like chamber type stuff.
Not. Wait a second. Sorry. Not specifically. It was more. He felt like he couldn't stop going. He had to keep going, I suppose. No. Not really any mentions of him feeling trapped or constricted. He did mention seeing a woman, maybe, in one of the trains. Or between the trains, I suppose. If that's relevant in any way. If it's related, it could be as old, perhaps.
Juniper.
Or Juniper, although I don't know when she died, really.
2008. Do you know what I mean? That's quite a while
Yeah.
ago.
2008.
Maybe.
No. Let me see here. Give me a second.
Did he? He didn't mention about feeling trapped, did he? I was trying to think back. I don't think he did.
No, this was 2023, mind you, 2 years ago. 2008 was the case you stole, Elijah.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I
Mhm.
apologize.
No, he doesn't say really. It's more like everything is quiet, echoes
Yeah.
don't happen, end of the line.
Yeah, okay. I was just double checking because I was like, I didn't think there was, but I want to make sure because
Hmm.
Well,
he did mention some graffiti. I'm not sure if it was in the original case. I can't quite remember, but end of the line was repeated constantly. He said scratched into walls, into floors, painted on. He said it didn't feel like graffiti, but like branding in a way.
Goodness.
He the trains were closed when he started walking, but when they
Yeah.
opened, he got on one.
Yeah. Right. That's interesting. Do you want to go on a trip to a church that disappears every now and then?
Helpline.
I mean, I've got nothing else going on.
Right.
Road
then,
trip.
Perfect. Where do we meet? We could just meet in front of the station. I'll drive. It's fine. It's about an 8-hour drive away, but it does disappear. And you're pretty sturdy, and apparently it might be one of those, big bad sort of terror things going on there?
What day? When?
Sunday. So I mean, so it disappears on Sunday. See, that's the thing. It disappears on Sunday. We need to get back. I think we need to get back in touch with them to get a proper timing for when it does disappear. Because if it disappears, Sunday night, we can always, go and do our thing by like Sunday morning. Though perhaps it's a better idea to go on Saturday and get a hotel. I'll figure
I
it out.
may be occupied on Saturday. Briefly.
Oh, really? Right.
Yes.
Well, then I'll try to. If it is the thing of like, oh, it disappears on Sunday morning, I won't bore you with it. But if it lines up, we'll definitely send you a message.
Let me know when, because I don't know. I don't think I'll be busy too long.
Can I?
I'm not sure.
What kind of I don't think I'll be busy too long is that? Is that a hee hee or is that a haha?
What does
Like,
that? What does that
is it
question
like-
mean?
Is it like a I don't think I'll be busy too long? Like I don't too long. since
SPA
It's just
I'm
like
not
a-
with someone.
It's just like a. Not even that. It's like I don't really know how long I'll be busy, but based on previous this is out of context for your character, obviously. Based on previous interactions with Anna, we're both quite blunt people. It probably won't be all day, like it won't be an all day thing,
I see.
but it'll probably be like a good few hours.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Well, then if there's nothing else, I'll
Bye.
turn to Astrid. I'll turn to Astrid and say, maybe it's better if you talk to them. I don't know why. People are not very receptive to my interrogation style.
I'm assuming this is the reason you two were here.
Astrid?
Y'all not
Drink in
happy?
the silence.
Okay, I can do that. So just figure out the exact time.
Yep. Figure out the
Anything
exact
else?
time. Don't think we'll need anything else. I'll get the drone stuff, try to figure it out. I'm okay with, technical stuff. So I can try and figure that out. Apart from that, I'll get a proper address for Winston and Winston Church. Seems like a pretty remote place.
This church, is this a badge or no badge situation?
You tell. I think it's for Astrid to tell you that. Is it a bad or no badge situation?
I am pretty sure it's bad.
No, like a badge situation.
Badge, like, as do we go as police or do we go as regular people?
I misheard you, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I say we keep our badges on us but hide them just in case.
So, not badge
Understood.
until it comes up.
Not badge until it becomes a problem, yes. Understandable.
Right. Then if we're all set. Oh, fucking hell. God, I forgot. Ah. Elijah just, like, holds his, like, the bridge of his nose with his fingers and just, just annoyance.
You're right there?
Looking into this. Yeah, I'm looking into this guy for my sister. This fucking Elias Bouchard person. Weird guy, prosecutor. Apparently, probably got some really big bad dirt on him. The kind of dirt that would maybe make him land here. At least, in the statements. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, you both have a wonderful evening. And Elijah looks back at the statement in his hands.
Is it time?
I got some light reading to do.
Oh no, oh no. Okay. Bran's gonna text Anna to be like, I got the stuff. No, she's not gonna say that. She's gonna say like, I got it.
She's going
Just to let her know.
text back like, oh, lovely. Saturday?
Time? Question mark?
Up to you.
Is it morning?
Sure.
9?
Thumbs up.
Great. And then Fran's gonna respond with where? Question mark. This is how they text. This is disgusting, but I love it.
Where? She just writes my place? Question mark.
Fran gives it a thumbs up. The most dry text is on the planet.
Exactly how we love it.
Yes.
I like my messages. I like my. Wait.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I like
My steak.
white wine.
I
dry.
like my steak. Well
Dry?
done. Yeah, dry.
Oh.
exactly. No, okay. All right. Yeah. Astrid, is there anything you'd like to do?
Not really. I guess she'll relax until they go visit church.
All right. Well,
Oh, and
Yeah,
after
it is
she
true.
messages the people and asks for the exact time. I completely forgot about that.
that's true. You'll do that. Though that's not the scene that we need to take. I'll give you the times. Elijah was gonna do some light reading, and I think
Oh,
for yeah, let's do some light reading, and then let's round this off with a few dramatic readings of some backstories.
I almost forgot about that.
So, everyone, statement given 2008 July 7th by Redacted. Whenever I'm hurt, I don't treat the wounds. It's always been that way. My mother said that boys like me should wear scars like badges. It's what made us us. I've never quite felt like a boy though. Never quite felt like I'm at home with badges, scars, and being a man. Elijah, please mute.
Done.
Wonderful. Ooh. But when I get a wound, I
Also,
still.
it is. Eris does also echo.
Do I echo?
There.
I
Yes,
wasn't aware
yes,
that I
yes, yes, I
echoed.
figured
I'm
that
gonna
out.
mute too.
I've never quite felt like a boy though. Never quite felt like I'm at home with badges, scars, and being a man. But when I get a wound, I still do as she said. I wash off the dirt and grime, then hold it upright and let the blood harden. I remember how it hurt and how it would hurt when I did it wrong, or when something touched the wound. But the worst was yet to come. When the blood had hardened into a little scab, I'd pinch it between my index finger and thumb, and like tape, I'd rip it off my skin. It would bleed again, and after a couple times, this guaranteed a scar. With every scar I got, I felt like I lost a part of myself. Have you heard of the ship of Theseus? I realized something secret about it. The question of which ship is the real one is misinterpreting it. It isn't a ship made out of the old parts, nor the new ones, but something else. The thing that's forgotten in the process. Recently I tore a scab off of my arm. It was deep and bled quite a lot, and when it healed it formed another scab, though slightly bigger and deeper. I tore it off too, and I found it frightening. I had this fear that it wouldn't stop growing, that maybe it was a tumor or cancer. Really, the doctor said it was fine. It's the withdrawal of curtains. The scab, I'd realized, was a spotlight to show who I really am. I've never wanted to be a man, and the scars always hurt to think about, but now I realize that I am my scars. The gentle dents and grooves made by the ripping of these scabs. In the space where there used to be skin but now is nothing, that's where I really am. And am I my scabs? Am I the man left behind? I am the empty space between the wounds and the air. I'm the vacuum where once there was a person but now only I. But there was so little of me, less than millimeters of the real me. So I began to hurt my skin and body. I cut, mostly, but also stabbed. When it healed, I'd peel away the man and give space for me. By the time an arm was free, I was brought to an institution. The man was put in a cell. They were not quick enough to restrain him, and he let me free. Tore the empty space from the wounds, and I left him there. He never spoke again because there was nothing left inside him. I'm so euphoric now that I do not need to be a man, need to be a body. Without a body, no one can harm you. No one at all. And that's the end of it.
That's some heavy reading, actually. Right. I think Elijah would have sat down at like a coffee shop or something to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And would just be sort of, whatever he's eating, just sort of put that down. Yeah, right. And then, yeah, that's it.
That's it. And that is where we'll kind of end the proper role play. I'll give some time so we can do some dramatic readings. I only think, Francesca, you're the one that has anything to read.
Well, Elijah wrote something as well. Elijah.
I think
Yes.
Elijah did do a dramatic reading, though, in the last episode to Magnus.
Yeah. It
Oh, yeah, no
was
way,
all
yeah.
improv, but
Yeah.
it was pretty much the story.
Mm-hmm. But before that, anyone who's gonna leave right now, of course, content of this roleplay made and brought to you under an Attribution ShareAlike 4.0 international license. Music is from Witchbolt, a non-AI Dungeon Sith music producer. Thank you all for coming. If you are leaving, if you're staying, welcome to stay. All right. Francesca?
Yes. Wait, I need to actually get it open.
Yeah, get
Not
it open.
open.
Yeah.
So, for some context,
Split
for
it
anyone
open and
who's
flick.
decided to stay. Thanks, Brett. That was lovely. A little bit of context for anyone who decided to stay. Nomi suggested, or at least I don't think Nomi even suggested it. I think I just did it. But I'm a big fan of the Magnus Archives, a very big fan, which this is based off of. So I wanted to write a statement-style character backstory for Miss Francesca. And it's written in the style of a police interview, because she was at some point interviewed by the police. Who would like to be... Can I have someone to be the interviewer, por favor?
Yes, I would love to. I would love to. Do you have your?
Do you want to be the interview?
You
It's
sent
in
it. You
cases.
sent it.
It's in cases.
Yes, I have it. I have it. I will
Mhm,
read
mhm.
right now as we're talking.
Nomi, would you be so generous as to be Mike?
Mike? Of course.
Would you be
of
Mike?
course I'll be Mike.
And I've got the notes. Lizzie, if you'd also like to partake, if we all want to get involved, I don't know if you would. If not, if you don't, that's fine. I shall just read them. But there's a...
I can't pull it up anyway.
Okay, that's fair.
On mobile.
I'll read the beginning. Sorry, I'm eating ravioli. I'll at the beginning, but right. So, can you see it, Brad?
I can.
Can you see it, Nomi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go. Interview of Francesca Horowitz following the murder of Jacob Alborn. Interview date 3rd of March 2025. Date of incident the 29th January 2025. Interview conducted by Redacted. Interview transcript.
Do you know why you are here, Mrs. Horowitz?
Yes.
Can you provide a description of the events leading up to Mr. Alborn's death?
Inaudible. I'm
afraid I
saying
didn't-
inaudible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I didn't quite catch that.
It wasn't him. That thing I killed, I don't think it was even human.
Is this a confession?
If you like. I didn't kill him, though. I've known Jakey since we were kids, and that thing hardly even looked like him. The only thing I killed was a thing that pretended to be him.
You seem certain it wasn't him.
I am.
But you don't deny you killed it?
No.
If you're trying to get an insanity plea...
I'm not. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Whether you believe me or not is your decision.
And what makes you so sure that it wasn't him? Do you have any evidence?
I have nothing. Even the picture in Jakey's apartment showed that thing in its place. But there's no chance that it was in any way human. Even before I knew that it was pretending to be him, I knew something about it was off.
Something was off?
It started in November. I thought it was Botox and plastic surgery at first, but it was more than that. Its skin was always too tight and unblemished. Each of its teeth were perfect and constantly bared in a too white smile. And the eyes were the worst. Glassy and lifeless as they stared straight through you, hardly ever blinking. I didn't even realize it was supposed to be him at first. It wasn't until the other officers called out his name that I even realized something was wrong. I thought it was a prank. He liked to pull pranks, but even this was too far for him, and he'd never gotten anyone else involved in them. Not for me, anyway. The worst part is, it knew, and I think it always did. The first day when it walked in, it grinned at me. It didn't smile, it grinned. Like it was excited, like I was the most interesting thing it had ever seen. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I'd maybe slipped in the shower, bumped my head, and somehow forgotten what my best friend looked like. It only got worse after that. All the photos I had, well, most of them, showed this new thing in its place. All I had was a single old Polaroid from when we graduated. That was the only thing that showed him how I remembered. I even went to his apartment. I didn't break in, I have a key. And it was covered in dust. The fridge was full of rotten and mouldy food like it had been left for weeks. At this point in time, the replacement, or whatever it was, had been there for nearly a month. I called his parents to ask if they'd talked to him recently, and they said he seemed fine, that there was nothing wrong, and asked if I'd been getting enough sleep. I wasn't, but I couldn't tell them why. Eventually, my colleagues convinced me to take a break, and the chief gave me a couple of days off. When I got back, they had a new assignment for us. Both of us. There had been some kind of disturbance in a building site. I don't really remember the details, but it watched me the whole time. The entire journey, its eyes were fixed on me like it was waiting for a reaction of some kind. Me and Jakey are AFOs, so usually we're sent to the more active situations, but when we got there, there was nothing. It was quiet. Not too quiet, just quiet. Oh, except for that damned whistling. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, Jakey's he's a big Disney fan. Throughout our entire childhood, every time I went to his place, we'd always watch Disney movies, sometimes all day. He loved the classics, but his favourite was always that old black and white Mickey Mouse animation. You know the one, with the whistling and the steamboat. He would whistle it all the time, and it drove me mad. And this thing must have known, since it whistled constantly. But it was always wrong. I've heard that tune whistled for years, but the way this thing did it, The way the the way the notes came out were just wrong. Like the distant bellowing of an organ in an impossibly recognizable tune, regardless of how many notes were in the wrong place. And that somehow was what did it. One moment we were walking and it was in front of me, and the next it was on the ground. Hole right in the head. Bullet hole right in the head, sorry. I stood frozen for a moment, barely registering the sudden act of violence I'd committed after the end of weeks of torment. I'd say I blacked out, but that's not true. I remember every second of it, lining up the shot and pulling the trigger. It always was a good shot. I remember it even more clearly when it stood back up, the rictus grin still plastered on its face. I fired 2 more shots when it lurched toward me. The first went wide. I hadn't expected to be as fast as it was, and the second went straight through its arm, spilling some gritty red substance onto the floor. It reached me not long after. I dropped my gun before I lost a finger with it trying to tear it out of my hands, and kicked as hard as I could. It only stumbled for a moment, immediately raking its claws across the side of my face as soon as it recovered. It seemed to back off after that. I think it must have been toying with me, because after a few moments it lunged again. Only this time I was ready. I had grabbed a shovel that was nearby while it mauled me, quickly bringing it up to shield myself when it lunged again, and when it stumbled backwards I struck, slamming the shovel into its face as hard as I could. The thing fell to the ground and let out more nauseating, wheezing laughter as I brought down the shovel again and again and again. I didn't stop until it did, with a final sickening crack. Even then, the last expression on the creature's face was one of victorious joy, like it had won. I didn't realize it at the time, but I think maybe I played right into its hands. I don't know why it would have wanted this, but I don't doubt that it did. The whistling started again soon after, somehow even more distorted than before, since his face was too damaged to whistle properly. Instead, the sound came from every gaping wound in its body, the flesh surrounding each injury bulging and pulsing as the whistling became screeching, became screaming, until it became silence. I think my ears were bleeding, but I can't be sure, especially since I was missing a piece of one of them at that point. I don't remember much about the hospital afterwards, only that I was cuffed to the bed and no one visited me. I'll probably miss his funeral. I don't expect to be out of here anytime soon. Hell, maybe I've already missed it. I hope he won't be too upset at me. I'll have to apologize when I see him next. I'm sure he'd understand.
Brad.
Oh shit, I was talking.
His pause is so long, Brad.
Long pause.
Would you wait here a moment, Miss Horowitz? Chair scraping.
Like Grace. Not like I have much of a choice. Metal cuffs rattle. Cling, 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 cling.
Door opens.
Oh,
Closes.
that was good.
That was good, yeah.
The room is silent.
The room is silent.
room is
There you go.
silent.
It has been a while. Door opens. There you go. Footsteps.
Door closes.
There you go. Door closes. Who are you? Here to analyze me psychologically?
My name's Michael Sadier. I'll be your new chief.
What?
I don't care. I don't care what you saw. You seem sane enough to work though, so now you're mine until further notice.
I don't.
Welcome to Section 31, Miss Horowitz.
Handcuffs click and rattle as they are unlocked. Footsteps away. Door opens. Footsteps continued. There you go. There you go.
Tuk, 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 tuk.
What the fuck?
Click.
Click. Transcript ends. Transcript and recording to be sealed indefinitely. No digital copies permitted. All records to be stored in the Section 31 archive.
It's true.
Lovely. Lovely.
There we go.
Lovely.
It's true. And it
Wow.
was in
It's
fact
true.
there. Actually, no, it wasn't even there. It was under the floor in my.
It was in like a super secret version
Mm.
of it. You know, it's
Mm,
like it was in the
mhm.
floor of the archive, which is like the archive 2.
The
I'll ship you
archive
Electric
2,
Boogaloo.
the archiving. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Goodness gracious.
that was
Goodness
great.
gracious.
That was great.
I'm
Absolutely.
half of that. I'm so sorry.
I did this. No worries.
That
This
is fine.
this is for the enjoyment of our fans and me.
They enjoy my terrible voice acting.
It was not terrible. That was great. Writing even more so.
Oh.
Though I think I think we'll finish off here. I'll say the full thing again. Like,
Mhm.
hey, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening. This was, of course, Section 31, Episode 6. I heavily advise checking out the Magnus Archives or the Magnus Protocol. Both podcasts are great. The Rusty Quill makes a lot of good content. Also, listen to the Witchbolt. He makes some amazing music, and he's been so ever humble as to let us use it. And of course, the content of this roleplay is made and brought to you under an Attribution Share Alike 4.0 international license. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone. Bye everyone. Don't be sure to keep a gun under your bed and
Yep.
and copy of the Necronomicon by your bedside table in case the horrors come to bite.